I was on like my last, like, okay, I have one more month of rent left that I can pay. And then I don't know what I'm going to do after that. I went to like this park in Miami. I just got my 6th rejection for final round. I was depressed. I texted Josh, who's my manager now. And I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I never even got to ask the question. I just started like bawling. And my wife at the time, she was like, why don't you just make some TikToks? There's a lot of nights and weekends alone. On the weekends when everyone's partying, I was in my room by myself learning how to use like Ableton, learning how to produce, watching YouTube videos. People don't talk about that enough. You need to put in a lot of work to get 4 hours DJing and, you know, the highlight reel videos. That's like the dark side that a lot of people get into it, get super lonely, and they're like, oh, like, I don't think I can handle this. And then they'll quit.
What's up, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indy and Dr podcast. We are in a special setting because we have a special guest. His name is DJ Fresh, aka Umar, one of the hottest DJs in the world right now. Fresh off going viral. Many times. Bro, man. Thank you so much for coming to the UK to come see us, and only us. You're only here for us, aren't you? You're
only here for you guys, man. And Nandos.
Huh? Nandos. You came for Nandos.
That's
I think
it.
You came for Nandos.
I came for Nandos specifically, but then
I
heard
forgot
the podcast
that Nandos was here.
He got so excited. So a bit of context, guys. We have this WhatsApp group. We're talking about everything, and he's like, Indy's doing his American. Y'all, where y'all want to eat and all that.
Yeah.
And we got this and Nandos, and then Omar was like, Nandos. Full cut. Nandos. We're going to Nandos.
Dude,
I gave you lists of like great food.
Nandos.
I know. I was like, out of all these like London-esque places, I was like, Nandos is the place I need to go to. So I appreciate it. No, I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys, man.
No worries, man.
Yeah.
What brings you over here though in general to England? Just a holiday break?
Dude, so a couple things. One at the top of the list is obviously this podcast. I just want to make sure I can see you guys in person. But the second thing is, so things have been going, you know, I'm excited to talk about it. Things have been going so well.
Yeah.
We're looking for venues for next year to do a proper tour and proper shows here. So doing that, meeting up with some DJs that I follow out here, building a network, and then just enjoying London a little bit, man. So it's a short trip for us, but dude, even like the 2 nights that we've been here so far, man, it's been so fun. I love it here.
How expensive has it been for you so far?
So pounds, right? I'm just $10. I didn't realize how much like pounds are worth compared to dollars. Yeah. So
not as much as it used to be, but yeah.
The heyday.
Was it more?
Yeah,
it feels like
way back. It used to be 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Back in like 2000s. Yeah.
That's crazy. So
now
I'm
it's
not
like 1.2.
I'm not thinking about the conversion right now.
It's true when you go abroad. It's like it's free money.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is like it's play money. It doesn't feel real.
I'm like £6 for a latte. I don't want to know what the conversion is right now.
You know what the conversion is?
Worry about it later.
It's agony. Absolute agony.
No, but it's been good, man. It's been good. London's clean compared to New York.
What, really?
Dude,
London's filthy.
This place is so clean.
The tube versus metro.
The tube is small though. I will say, I get claustrophobic in the tube, man.
Yeah.
Is it
compared to the subway?
Clean.
But it's clean.
The metro is like it's functional. But I find it really dirty.
The tube is not clean. No. The tube is not clean.
No,
but you have
dude,
to metro, man. The metro is like gone, man.
When you say metro, do you mean subway?
Yeah, the metro.
Do you guys call it the subway or metro?
I call the subway, but the tube is the subway here too, right?
Yeah, correct.
Or is that a different?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about the same thing.
Okay,
subway means like underground. Metro means like implies overground.
The underground stuff in New York was dirty compared to the tube.
Yes, it was.
My experience.
It is
and the
pretty
streets,
filthy,
man. The streets in New York.
Streets are crazy. I just want to say I love New York.
Before you start getting dragged in the comments.
There's some great things about New York, but man, if you're a germaphobe, it is hard out there, man. It is crazy, but you get used to it.
Central Park's beautiful, man.
Central Park's beautiful. The city's energy is great. A lot of similarities to London.
What happened to the floods? There was a bunch of flooding there recently, wasn't there?
There was. I was out of town that weekend, but yeah.
You got lucky.
If I got, my wife was there though, so she was telling me about it. But yeah, part of the city was like flooding really badly. Nothing like, I'm from Texas, also lived in Florida. Like those floods are kind of crazy, but yeah, man. When New York floods, it's scary because so much is underground.
And the mice can swim.
Party here.
The mice can swim. Or like the rats can swim.
I didn't know that.
There were like videos of rats swimming. There were videos of rats swimming in the floods, and I was thinking that is a new fear unlocked.
That's wild. I don't mind rats. I actually think they're kind of cute.
What?
So because I have 2 cats, right? So I'm like, okay.
So your cat just brings them in.
No, just like a rat
extension of that's okay.
They're just little cute furry animals.
Tom and Jerry,
Yeah. It's like, what's to be scared of? They're not trying to come after you.
Disease. That's what I'm scared.
That's what it is, man. Rabies.
He's like, what? I'm scared of, man. It's so good.
I try to stay away. But yeah, other than that, man, London's been great. I'm happy to be here. I do want to come back here more often, man. It's good. Plus the vibe. I didn't realize how many brown people were here.
bro.
Like I knew there was a lot, but like
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah,
I love
there's
it.
a lot of us.
It's awesome, man.
The mix
It's
is
awesome.
pretty awesome.
The mix in London's like one of a kind. It's very multicultural. You get everyone here.
That's
From
awesome.
all walks of life, like European, Middle Eastern, Australian, like South American, everywhere. Just eclectic mix.
I've
Which is
noticed.
very weird because you don't tend to get that across the UK. It's only in London.
Oh,
When
no
you step
kidding?
outside the UK, you get pockets of people that are just that type of people.
Interesting.
So for us, Birmingham
That's where
is
I'm from.
brown people.
Birmingham?
Like the majority of it is brown people in
Okay.
pockets,
Central,
but it's also like a white dominated area.
Birmingham.
Then you go further north in like the countryside, there's not a single brown
It's
person
just
there.
gaudy.
Oh, really?
Like there's people I've met who've never seen like brown people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like we went on a staycation recently, do some podcast retreat, strategy stuff, and on the way back, his missus Sanj was like, "Oh, can we go to Blackpool? It's like a seaside town." And
Yeah.
it's like, "I've never been." So we went there, and we're leaving, and she's like, "These people are so depressed." She's like, "Please never take me away from London. Like there was nothing to do here. There's people just walk around. There's nothing to do." And I'm
They're
like,
aimlessly
kidding.
walking around like it's so underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there. It's like
That's fascinating.
okay.
like the energy is in London, man. Everything, it's the
Yeah.
home, man.
Everything's
good.
here. You can just feel the vibe when you're here.
It's
very
great.
Which is the same with New York. Which
Yeah,
I felt
yeah.
when I was there. I was like, this feels like the center. What's that guy you said is like, if Rome existed today,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
would be New York. So
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
It's
You
been
reckon?
great.
or London. The thing is,
Well,
I think London's architecture and it's more quirky. That's what I like about London. Like you can go in London 50 different times and your experience is always different because all the streets are different and stuff. Whereas for me,
Yeah.
New York is very grid and da. It's still look the vibe's still amazing.
It's a OCD's heaven.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
that's what I noticed today. I hopped in first of all, I hopped in a Bolt, not an Uber,
Yeah.
which
Why
I
is
didn't
that?
know what a Bolt was. I couldn't find an Uber, but I saw a sign that said
Yeah,
Bolt.
Bolt,
yeah.
yeah.
Make a pet.
This
We have a
podcast
few
is
over
sponsored
here.
by Bolt.
That's all right.
Alright,
So we have like Bolt, Uber.
You thought it'd be
a few
quicker. He's
others.
like, Bolt.
Well, I thought okay, but the Bolt driver, first of all, he wasn't following Waze at all, which I don't know. Do people now use Waze here?
No,
It's
no,
like-
they
do,
do.
in
But I
London.
think for him, they have to have the app open that tells you the way that it's going, so it can track you.
Yeah, so he
you get
had the
paid.
app open, but he was taking all these other roads. But the point is, like, nothing
I
was
know.
nothing was gridded, right?
Yeah.
Like the way I would imagine New York is like you just go down this street and take a right this street. Everything's like perpendicular, right?
Yeah.
Here it was like diagonal this way, this cut this
Yeah,
way.
it is. It is.
Down.
Driving on the wrong side of the road.
Roundabouts.
Yeah, roundabouts. I was like, oh man, this is
Holy
crazy.
shit, man.
How
do these
people
people
I've never seen
function?
this thing in my
I was
life.
like, what is going on? OCD, yeah. It's just,
OCD.
This isn't the place for me.
So, Umar, we have some DJ specific questions for you.
Oh, let's hear it, man.
It's nothing dodgy. Basically, me and Goran have done a lot of research on you to understand your journey a little bit, to sort of
awesome.
appreciate the process.
Stalked you. Yeah.
First question is your first song, The Champ Is Here, the one that
Yes.
went up all the
Right.
way up
Bro.
13 years ago.
Amazing.
Why did you release it twice on YouTube?
Okay. So the champ is here is interesting, man.
Yeah.
So I made that song in high school,
Yeah.
right?
High school.
In high school. So in high school, so I always thought I wanted to be a rapper. Like that was
Okay.
end goal for me.
Yeah.
So in high school, I used to do a lot of rapping, a lot of spoken
Freestyling.
word, freestyling. Like back then, freestyling was like a really big deal. Like,
was.
follow hip hop, right?
This was 2000. Give me a.
This was
time period.
07 to 2010. Like those were
T-Pain.
my
Okay.
Or
T-Pain was in it. Yeah.
just post T-Pain, Kanye, 808 Heartbreak.
It was like golden era, I thought, for like
Golden
for
era
that
of
kind
it,
of music.
yes.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was freestyling everywhere, and then my senior year of high school, I was like, all right, I gotta like pursue this. I gotta drop a mixtape, and this was
Yes.
before Spotify, man. So
Pre-Spotify, man. Wow.
it was just me going on YouTube. At the time, I didn't know how to produce beats. I didn't know anyone making beats.
Yeah.
I tried. I wasn't very good at it. So I was like, okay, let me just download some instrumentals and start making music. I found The Champ Is Here.
From
at
Ali
the-
the film.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they used the sample from Ali, and then Jadakiss had a version of it on YouTube.
Yes, he did.
It was like The Champ Is Here, like his remix. I was like, oh man, this beat is like amazing.
Yeah.
So I just downloaded the instrumental. I remixed it in the studio. It was like one of 15 songs on my first mixtape. I didn't think too much of it. Put it up. We put it on like DatPiff, if you remember DatPiff.
What's that, Piff?
DatPiff was like where you go to download all the mixtapes back in the day.
Really?
Like it was like
Again, pre-Spotify.
it was
Mine was
pre-Spotify.
like what was it? There were a bunch of like Hot 97 rip-off websites that I used to go to.
Yeah, I
try and
believe
get
that.
American
Yeah.
music. Yeah, there were loads of random mixtape ones out there. I remember.
That's amazing.
Good times.
So DatPiff was one of them. iTunes was like another thing that like was relatively new.
It was.
You could put it up 99 cents a song, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then we just burned CDs. Like I burned
That
like
was the thing, yeah.
thousands of CDs on my laptop. Like broke my home computer, man, burning CDs.
Yeah.
It was
I did the
crazy.
same thing. Burning discs on there, you have to be really careful.
Yeah.
And I had to like change the disc type so it wouldn't mess with the disc.
What were you burning?
Huh?
What were you burning?
I used to burn CDs for the car and for girls at school. Remember?
Oh, amazing.
I was
don't
that guy.
promise.
I was that guy. I told you this.
His nickname in school was the Milkman.
The Milkman?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He was just after Gordiana, was it?
It's true. It's true.
not gonna lie.
Listen. In my school, it was all white girls.
no one else.
I had
imagine.
You are
had
the
limited
target now.
options.
In
I knew
Birmingham?
what I knew in Birmingham.
Ah,
yeah.
I got you.
See,
No, that makes sense.
pockets of space. So I found the pocket, right?
That's
But yeah,
amazing,
man, I used to understand the pain of like getting the disc burn and stuff.
That was
even, like,
crazy, man.
The sound your computer would make as the disc is burning.
Yeah,
It's like it's about to
Yeah,
explode.
yeah.
And if you're doing that late at night, your dad can hear it in the next room. He's like,
oh man.
"What's that sound?"
And
We did.
this wasn't a 5-minute process.
No.
Like, this
He's
took
burning
time,
thousands
man.
of CDs.
Yeah,
now,
half
like,
an hour.
Yeah, it was crazy,
Are you
man.
free distributing them or you're selling them or?
So the next day at school, I like packed a suit. Literally, I had a suitcase I took to school just full of mixtapes.
Seriously, like a roll on.
Yeah, this is like the true hip hop story, man.
Yes.
Put it in my trunk, like drove to school, took it out, like would just drag it through school and be like, hey, I have this new mixtape. A lot of people knew me rapping back then.
Nice.
I was like, I'm just selling it on donation. You know, you could take it, just donate whatever you want.
Yeah.
$5, $1, $2.
Nice.
Some people gave $20. Like it was actually
Wow.
like it was awesome because we ended up making more money doing that versus like charging $5.
Yeah.
And there's no expectation. Yeah. So
No expectation. I'm also like, I don't want to pressure anybody. I'm like, oh, you know, just hear it. And then even like between periods, like between classes, I would just like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom, take my suitcase and just like find people in the hallways. And they were just like grabbing the CDs. We sold out. Like we sold maybe 500 to 600 I had in my first day and they were all gone that
This
first
is
day.
great.
It was amazing.
this is
It was
just your
like,
school at this point.
this was just like my high school between periods 1 and 7. It was just like just distributing CDs.
You were so focused at school, I can tell.
I know, yeah. This was like senior year, man. We were like checked out at that point. But the point is the Champions here was on that thing. I didn't think anything of it until there's a couple other things that happened after that. But like 2015, so 5 years later, I graduated in 2010, Fox Sports calls. They're like, hey, we heard your remix to the Champions here on YouTube and we want to license it to the NFL.
How'd they get your number?
Sports.
It was just the most insane thing. I was like,
Surely
first of all,
you
I
must
was
have thought like, nah, this isn't real.
no, yeah.
You're like, yes.
Like-
Where do I
like-
say Hanji?
Or you're sitting there like, bro, is this Danny from school? Stop fucking calling me, man.
Hey, stop messing with me, man. Stop messing with me. Well, it was my second month of I just graduated college. I started a corporate job. It was my
Okay.
second month of working.
Right.
And they called. And mind you, like in that 5 years, I stopped rapping. I was like, I kind of gave it up. And I don't know where it came.
Interesting. As in, gave it up as in, this is not going to be a thing. I need to just focus on real work to get money and pay bills, or what was or pause? Was it a pause?
There was okay. So let me take it back. So
No. Round out the story first, and then
Okay,
we'll come
yeah.
to this because I know we're gonna forget. I've done this a few times.
No, that's good.
So I know how it goes.
You guys
So
actually-
okay, so Fox call you.
Okay, yeah. So Fox, I'll get back to that. Fox calls. And I was like, I didn't believe it at first, but she was like, oh, this is how much you can get. This is what we want to do with it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, here's my email, like my Hotmail, Gmail, whatever I had at the time. I like send the contract there. We'll talk about it.
99 Hotmail. Please, can I get this in writing?
Punjabi Monday 1991. But she sends the contract. And I was like, oh my God. My boss was also like, I worked for a consulting firm. My boss was like a lawyer. So I showed him. I was like, hey, is this real?
This legit, yeah.
And he was like, oh my God, like, who are you?
What are you
Why are
doing?
you working here?
So I was like, okay, let's pursue this. Long story short, we like tried to get in contact. I didn't have the proper clearance for it. It was a remix, right?
Yeah.
We tried to get in contact with Jadakiss's manager. He was like, hey, like, we don't have the proper clearance for it either. It was a remix. It's like Warner Brothers owns this Ali sample that's in the song.
Yeah.
So he's like, this is like a long process. By the way, like you shouldn't be selling your song either. I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me see what can happen. So I tried talking to them. We missed out on the opportunity because of that. But then a year later, we got another call for that specific song. Every year since 2015, we've gotten calls to license that song. It's been the bane of my existence because I'm like,
But you just can't get in touch with anyone at Warner.
it's not likely to get that cleared through like Warner Brother, like that sample
Official
specifically.
avenues, yeah.
What's crazy is, and shout out Jadakiss, man, I love Jadakiss. But what's crazy is one of that NFL opportunity, when we reached out, we said we couldn't do it, right? The very next year, there was an NFL shop commercial, so American football. Jadakiss, his version of the Champ is Here was on that commercial.
Ooh.
But what he did was he re-recorded that chorus and he said, "The Champ is here," instead of Ali. So he just
Smart.
remade the beat and did it himself.
Smart.
And I was like, they just went behind our back.
Yeah.
They just took the contract.
That's a nice
Like,
loophole.
Yeah,
That's how
it
you
was
do it.
amazing. It was amazing. But yeah, that song, honestly, it's changed my life because right now it's sitting at like 4.5 million streams, which, you know, compared to some other artists, maybe it's not A-list, but because of that, it's opened so many doors for
That's
us.
why I found you, man.
Yeah.
Can you explain how streams work with, even though you can't sell it to another company to use for the NFL, but you can still stream it on Spotify and that's allowed?
No,
I don't understand that.
It's a fair question. It's a gray area. It probably shouldn't be up there in fairness.
Really? Okay.
But we're just kind of letting it ride
4.5
until
million
That's
people
fair. That's fair.
disagree.
Until
So
the
we're
wheels
gonna-
fall off, right?
Let's edit
Spotify
this part out of the
complained.
podcast.
Yeah.
We just kind of left it, honestly. We're like, okay, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
But because of that, like our other songs have also like grown, and then our fan base has grown that way. And then like, hey, like we can't give you this song, but would you guys consider this other song that we have similar, like vibe,
Yeah.
high tempo, things like that? And that's worked out a couple of times too. So there was a period of time where I really thought like, this is it. We're gonna make it rapping. That's the way. And I think we got some good success off of it too. So
Damn.
yeah, man, it was crazy.
All right, go on to the rapping point now.
Oh,
You were asking about that, yeah.
Yeah. But even just before that, I just say that is how I discovered you, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my sister got married in lockdown wedding. And
Oh,
I was
amazing.
with my DJ for the thing, and I was gonna do a speech. And I was like, what's the walk-in song? And we had all these ideas, and I said,
Yeah.
this is the song. Actually, I gave him a pick of 3. We had 2 Punjabi songs, then we had that, and he's like, it has to be this.
Oh my
So I
god.
walked onto the speech from my sister to the Champ is Here, and I was like, this is so bad boy.
Yo, right
So
on.
bad boy, man.
You guys
I'll
sent me
find
the
that
video.
clip. I'll send it to you, man.
Yeah, you guys have a video.
So yeah, going back to it, you're there, you're doing corporate work, you've got to pay bills. And we all talk about side hustle, passion project, and
Yeah.
you know, we all want to do what we love, but only if it makes money. Like, you know, that makes
Of
the world
course.
around. So in that period where you're like, I do want to do it, maybe I don't want to do it, but I got a corporate job. What was the thinking at that point?
Yeah, so I'll take a step back too. So when we graduated high school, so it's always been, the money has always been like a factor in all this, right?
course.
Unfortunately, like it has to be.
Yeah.
Like to do my first mixtape in high school, like all I had was my like job. I was like a medical assistant in high school. And so I was like saving up, getting paid like $7 an hour. I was like saving up. Studio time at that time, you couldn't record at home, right? Studio time was like $50 an hour. Plus mastering was like $60 an hour. It's a whole process. So you needed like a couple of grand to like do a proper mixtape. So I was like, okay, my side job's not gonna cut it. I need to hustle. So we started selling t-shirts in high school. So my mixtape was called Seize the City. So similar, like this t-shirt is like Seize the City, oh fresh, $10 a shirt. And I found someone to make it for me for $5. Nice. We sold 1,000 shirts in high school, got the money to make the mixtape, used all that money to throw a concert at the end of the year. We rented like the local clubhouse in my neighborhood, got a stage, threw a concert. We like sold more shirts there. And then there's still some concert footage out there. This was like you had to have a camera to get like the footage.
Yeah.
But we had like 200-300 people at the concert, and then we had figured out how to live stream it before like Instagram live streams were existed. Had about 1,000 people live streamed. It was amazing. This was all like Houston, Texas. I was like, I'm out of here. Like I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna go. That was in May of 2010. August 2010, I go to Austin, Texas for college, and just completely deflated. I'm like a little fish in a big pond now. Nobody knows who I am. And then I realized, okay, like I've made some money rapping, but like unless you really make it, there's really not too much money in this, right? This was again before streaming even took off. So it's like I need to find something that's bringing in more cash because I got to pay for school. I got to do X, Y, Z. That's when I was like, okay, maybe rapping is not it. Let me start DJing. So I was like, I found some turntables, like paid $50 buying some used turntables, just learn how to DJ. And then I just hit up like every fraternity and sorority. And I was like, hey, you guys need a DJ? Halloween party, this, that, and the third. I joined a fraternity just to build my network and be like, okay, like let me get in here.
Learn the craft.
Loving the craft. And then boom, 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 I found a way to make money. And that's why I kind of sidestepped rapping for a little while. So for the next four years, I stayed in college for 5 years. I was like, okay, DJing's the way to go. I can make money doing this. And then when I graduated, it was like, okay, do I DJ full time? Which means, do you want to be a wedding DJ? Because Desi weddings are really
Because
where
they're where it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will come to that, but yeah.
or do I go corporate? And then that's when I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give up the music. It was fun while it lasted.
Okay.
And then I went corporate. And then the 2 months later, I got a call from Fox Sports, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to do music, man.
Yeah.
I know there's no money in it, but I just gotta figure out how to do it. So that's kind of like, that's where how I think about the money aspect. It's just more of a necessity more than, I never want to be a millionaire off of music.
Okay.
It's more like, can I just have enough to make it? You know what I mean?
And have the life I want.
And have the life I want. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was thinking. I don't know if that answered your question, but
No, that
You're
definitely
right.
answers the question, man. That's a journey, honestly.
yeah, man.
So many things there. So you had like the mentality of like, I've got to make this work. I need X amount of money. How can I make that money? Let me just jump in and figure out t-shirts, flip them quickly at like 100% markup, and then let's just keep it going and keep all the proceeds and put it towards studio time.
Exactly.
That's genius, because you're thinking that's the most linear thing. I thought you were going to be like, yeah, I went to the streets. I had to
No, man.
I had to be a corner boy.
Be a road man.
Yeah.
No, man. I couldn't. Yeah, so I watched some TV shows.
Yeah.
I like, it's like at that time, and I think now like everyone loves a t-shirt, especially
Yeah.
like an 18-year-old, you know. So I thought that was like the best way to just make money. So
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I was very clean cut. I didn't know how to like, you know, do the roadman stuff, but I was like, this could do it. And I like kind of did the math. Like I just need X amount of money to make it, to do this, and then after that, I need X amount of money. So I think that hustler mentality is just like, it's, if you're trying to make it in any craft, podcasting, music, you gotta be a hustler
Yeah, you do.
to some degree, right? You got to figure out how to make
It's
ends
true.
meet.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Essential.
that's what I tell people when they're like, oh, like, how can I do this or how can I record? And I was like, man, you just gotta
Tremendous
fucking
start
hustle,
doing it,
man.
man.
Like, yeah, you just gotta start doing it.
And
find a
results
way.
and results don't come instantly, and then people know that, but they don't when they're actually doing it. Like we know when we start the podcast, no one gives a shit about what you're saying.
Oh,
listening
man.
to you, there's like 3 views on your
Exactly.
videos. It looks shit. We're disinterested. Like we
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
We look
yeah.
back at it now. We're like, wow, that was really bad, man. But you just have to
Oh man,
get through it.
that's how I felt. I don't want to jump the gun. That's how I felt when I dropped my first like real mashup. I was like, oh man, this sucks. Got 10 views, but I was like, it's a necessity. You have to put it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to get to that 10th mashup that's going to be phenomenal, right? You have to go through the process.
Indy said something to me once, which sticks with me today.
It's an Ed Sheeran quote.
Ed Sheeran quote.
Oh hell yeah,
And
good.
he was like, you know, if you turn on the tap after a long time, shit's gonna come out the tap. But the shit has to flow before the good Barney or water comes out.
Ooh,
And from a content perspective, like
I
you
love
said,
that.
It works.
Yeah,
It works.
I
with
love
content.
and it's so true. And what you just said there, and what it was exactly, it. You can't have your 100th video without your first video,
100%.
right? And I know when we hit
100%.
100, like now between 100 and 130, like the change is mad compared to what we had in our first. Like there was nothing, man. There was absolutely
Yeah, man.
nothing.
What I like, if you have that 100th video as your first video, like if you go off on your first video, sometimes it sets you up badly too.
Yeah, it
'cause
does, because you've hit a pinnacle and then you never go back to it.
And you don't know why.
Everything's
Exactly.
down.
It'll mess you up
and
mentally.
Trying to get back up is really difficult. It messes with you.
Oh, for sure,
It
for
does.
sure.
For years, our first episode was the most listened to for like not years, for a long time.
Yeah.
The first out of the first 100, the first episode was one everyone listened to.
Oh, no
and you
kidding.
see that number and you never were able to top it. And then
Oh.
eventually, slowly, things start getting traction. Then it overtakes you. You're like, oh, okay. The recent stuff now is trending upwards, which is good.
Yeah.
Right
So you're
on.
like, we're on the right pathway now.
That's
but
amazing.
to struggle through that and have that feeling of like, no one's really feeling this is
Yeah.
No
really
one
tough.
gives a shit.
No,
Yeah.
props to you. And podcasting is a competitive industry too, man. So
Incredibly. Over
props
4
to you.
million
guys.
is in the
Long form
world.
content, yeah. You gotta keep people interested. Yeah, thank God for Reels, man. If you didn't have Reels,
Oh yeah. Reels has changed the game.
Reels
changed
changed
the
the
game.
game,
and
man,
TikTok
for you
changed the game.
especially.
Yeah.
Well, now we're on that then. Take me through the day you blew up with the Chaiya mix and
Man.
Drake
Oh my
and
God.
Burna Boy. Take me through
Man.
like that day.
So I'll take you the day before.
Sure.
So actually, let me back up a few months before.
Okay,
yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Go.
So in 2022, November,
Mm.
I got laid off from my corporate job.
Okay.
So for the next, up until June, next 7 months, I was like this was like no one was hiring. This was like a recession, quote unquote, in the US.
Was this when you were in Miami?
This is when I lived in Miami.
Okay. Did you move there for work?
I did move there for work.
Okay.
So we were there for 3 years, laid off, couldn't find a job. I went through like countless interviews. I went through 6 final rounds. At the end of it, it's not that I lost all those final rounds. At the end of it, they're like, hey, we have to close this job off because, you know, we're pausing hiring.
That's
It was
painful.
a crazy. Yeah. So talk about like ups and downs.
Mm.
I was on my last, I like burned through my savings. Like Miami's expensive. I was on like my last, like, okay, I have 1 more month of rent left that I can pay.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I'm going to do after that. The day before the Chaiya remix dropped, I went to like this park in Miami. I just got my 6th rejection for the final round. I was depressed, like heavy depressed. Like, I mean, like going through it. I texted Josh, who's my manager now, and I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I saw this text like screenshotted. And then I never even got to ask the question. I just started like bawling. I was gonna ask him, like, he also went through a layoff. I was like, man, how did you process? Like, what did you do? Because I'm really like at the lowest point of my life now. And my wife at the time, the reason I started dropping these videos, she was like, hey, like, why don't you just make some TikToks? She's like, I know it sounds crazy, but she's like, you love DJing, just make TikToks.
She actually said that to you.
She said that.
You didn't have TikTok before this?
I had it, but I was posting a lot of like rap related content.
Got it.
But nothing was like really blowing up. It was just
what's healthy about that as well is that she sees that as an outlet for you instead of just sitting there mindlessly applying all day and just looking at applications and not hearing back and feeling disheartened. It does give you a bit of an outlet to just be you and not have any expectation or weight on it.
Exactly. No, I owe a lot of success to her. She saw me like I was just on like fetal position on the ground. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. When you don't have a job and you have nowhere to be,
she's laughing.
Tough,
she's laughing because
man, life will pass you by if you don't fucking wake up and do something, right? So like there was points where I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do today.
You need a wife like that at that point, or a partner at that point, where they know what to say, man.
Yeah.
I said to Shindy all the time, I was like, if you didn't hold your shit then, I would have like gone even lower, man.
Yeah.
And I actually ask her now, having come out of that kind of dark period, like, why didn't you lose your shit, man? I was losing my shit. You should have losing your shit. She's like, yeah, but you know.
No, exactly.
Respect, man. Like,
I'm very lucky. She like ride or die. This was the second time I was unemployed for a period of time. Talk about the first time later, but so like she was like, put these videos out. She's like, I used to like see all these DJ videos on TikTok, and I'm like, oh man, this is easy stuff. All they're doing is like moving the fader across, like. And she's like, the famous. It's like, oh, this is push play here, and put it. I was like, oh, like a lot of this mashup stuff I was doing in college because anyway, I was like, oh, I used to love mashing up American with like Mickey Sing and like Drake and this, that, and third. And she's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, just go do it. I was like, okay, fine. So then I started putting out mixes like in December. It's little TikToks, like, okay, 30-second TikTok, that's easy. It's not gonna take long to film. Nothing really blew up. This is like, you know, like we're like 16 videos, 17 videos in, maybe 20. And then I had this idea for Chaiya and Drake and Burna Boy. And I was like, okay, I love Last by Burna Boy. Chaiya is a classic. And I was just kind of like DJing, and I was like, oh wait, this could bop. This could bop. And I was like, what's the third layer? And then I found that Drake verse. And I was like, okay, let me add that in because I'm a big Drake fan. So I was like, okay. I sat on that for like 2 weeks because I was like, this isn't really that great. Like, I was like, I don't like it. But then that day after, like, I like had my ball session, the next day I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop it. So I put on my little button down, put on my bucket hat, put on my camera stand. I was like, all right, let me do this. Like begrudgingly, push play. Put that up. Nothing happened for a week. It was just another video.
Really?
Nothing happened for a week. On like the 6th day, the TikTok algorithm picked up. And all of a sudden we saw like my TikTok was like not popping at all. But then we just saw the numbers like hundreds by thousands, and it just kind of went going. I was like, oh, am I about to be a TikTok person?
Yes. Am I an influencer now?
My TikTok started going, and I was like, okay, nothing was happening on Instagram. I was like, all right, and then the followers on TikTok started coming. I was like, okay, we went from like 200 followers to like 5,000 followers. I was like, that's pretty dope.
That's really good.
Damn.
That's really good.
It was like 2 weeks later, Instagram algorithm picked up, and then boom, my life changed after that video, man. We had like maybe 4,000 followers. We like jumped to 10K. Like just off of that video, and then just like flooded with stuff. The inquiries started coming in. Like I have my DJ email on there. Or my music email.
Oh, you had that anyway?
Yeah, I just always had team at DJ Fresh on my thing. And then we just started getting emails after emails that, oh my God, like, do you do like Afrobeats mixes with Desi music? Like, could you do our wedding? Could you do this wedding? Could you do it? All over the world.
Instant.
It's just like crazy. Yeah, instant. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was at talk about like mood swings. I was at the lowest point of my life the day before.
Massive upswing.
And and then like in 2 weeks that happened. And then the biggest thing for me was like Lilly Singh commented on that video. I was like, oh my God. Like, this is
like she saw that.
Here, like, and like I was like flipping shit at that time, and then like I was like, what do I do next? Do I drop another video or do I like just let this ride? And my wife was like, dude, keep dropping videos.
Listen to your wife. That's the answer, man. Listen to your wife.
Keep going.
The next video I dropped was like Dilbur and Wizkid, a remix, and that
Which
one
is a banger.
That one took off too, and I was like, Is everything I'm gonna drive?
That song,
against?
that song is
formula
brilliant,
now.
by the way. Like Dilbar is such a banging song. I listen to it and I'm like, ooh,
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I was a big Wizkid fan too. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then we started building this like Afrobeats niche of
Yeah,
like
good.
Desi music.
Good.
And I had no idea there was such a big community worldwide that loved Afrobeats and Desi
Favorite
music.
thing. We played it at
Yeah.
our wedding. She loves Afrobeat.
No kidding.
Mate,
That's
Afrobeats,
amazing.
I feel like Desis love it
Yeah.
because it's so
It's amazing.
vibey, it's happy,
And it just
it
works with our
brings out
music
like a
as well.
nice feeling in you. It's
Yeah.
warm.
And the beats very like the
Yeah.
cadence is almost very similar.
Yeah.
to
Complementary. Yeah.
Desi music. So yeah, that like I owe so much credit to that Chaiya video. Like,
Dude.
it really jump started our career again. I should say,
See, look,
it restarted our
after
career.
you telling us that story now, see, I watched that like on a regular basis, and I show that clip to a lot of people. But me thinking now, actually, you filming that thing, you're not happy inside.
No, I
Right?
wasn't.
You're still having to do that. But so now when I watch it again, I look through that lens of he felt like this, he put it out like this,
Yeah.
like amazing, man.
But you still put the mask on of being happy.
You have to, and like, I hate saying it like that, but like, yeah, at the end of the day, you're performing. The way I
it's true.
view
You are
DJing,
right.
like, I hate when DJs are DJing and they're just like, get away from
Yeah,
me.
no personality, man. Like
So,
you wanna vibe.
You gotta, like, if you don't look like you're enjoying yourself, how am I
Why
gonna
you
enjoy
going to?
myself?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I always try whenever I'm performing, I always try to smile, be happy,
You're dance move, man.
dance. I gotta.
I love that dance. I do that now. I'm like, oh, fresh. Yeah.
It's that.
This guy now. I was like, it's so
you ever
good.
see a Hitch? And
Yes,
you teach me how to
yes.
dance? That's me. I'm
Just
like,
keep it
oh,
like
is
this,
that
keep
you?
it like this.
One
Okay, maybe I'll
and
flame.
two. He goes, none of this.
I always try to,
Oh,
but I'm
man.
also like, I'm usually like a pretty like, I try to be a happy person as much as I can,
No,
man.
dude,
So
you got that
like,
energy, man.
yeah.
You know how you felt when Lilly commented on your stuff?
Yeah.
It's how we felt when you commented on our stuff.
Get out of here.
Straight up, man, it's real.
Honestly, we were there. I was like, Indy, you're blue tick, man.
No,
This is the
man.
champ is here, and he likes our stuff, man. He's messaging us. I was like, Indy, we need to do something with this, man. This is not small,
Nah,
man.
I
That was-
appreciate
that
you
was
guys
crazy,
have been.
man.
I feel like you guys have been following me since I was like making those first like 20 videos. So I was like, I want to show love as much. as
No,
I
it's
can.
cool, man. It's fine. Like,
yeah.
we're always out on the lookout for people to look out for their own hustle and own dreams because
Yeah, hell yeah.
we relate to that because we're trying to do the same thing.
100%.
So it's helpful to see other people do it. We're like, we're all in the same boat.
And it's possible.
Yeah. And
Well-
everyone can get a slice of the pie as well. It's not like a
Yes.
zero-sum game where like if you win, I
Exactly,
lose.
bro.
It's not like that. It's
Exactly.
the pie can keep on growing.
Yeah.
To sound like a really bad analogy that comes from the government in the UK, but genuinely, everyone can have a slice. Like it's cool. You
No,
don't have
I
to
agree.
worry about like one person listening to one guy.
Yeah.
People think that you only listen to that podcast. No. People listen to like hundreds of them, and they pick
Exactly.
and choose the things they listen to, like it's a thing on a menu. If you think of it in
Yeah.
that mentality, it's like, all right, who's genuinely got the best stuff then? That's what it comes down to.
I agree. And that's why I'm like, yeah, it's a competition to some degree, sure. Like we all want to like push each other.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we can all eat here.
Yeah.
It's not a zero sum game. It's the perfect way of saying. I say especially for like, I'm a big advocate for brown people naturally, right? We're
Yeah.
all brown. I'm like, how do we uplift our community more or like support each other in this way, right? And I'm like, I feel like when I was coming up, especially rapping and stuff, it was like everything was too competitive to a degree where like no one wanted to help each other. And I even saw that at the beginning of like DJing too. And I'm like, there's enough room for all of us to be successful here, man. Like, first of all, like, especially with social media age, like people's attention spans are so short. They need content.
Yeah.
So it's not like one person can control all that content.
Yeah.
So-
we all have different USPs, man, and everything. does different
Exactly.
things. And Chaiya, man, banger. I showed it to my dad, and the reason I showed it to dad
Oh, hell
was
yeah.
when I was young. This is a true story. There was a period in my life where I'd come back from school, primary school.
Yeah,
You guys, what do you guys call it?
yeah.
school.
Like grade school. basically.
Grade school.
Yeah. And I'd come home, the song would be put on, I would just dance to it for like 5 minutes.
Amazing.
And he's got videos of it. I'm on the floor like Shah Rukh. You know Shah Rukh on the train?
Of course.
And I'm there like this. And so, and dad was like,
Can we get a clip of
Dad was
that?
like, yeah, okay.
I'd love to insert a
He's like,
clip
this
if I
is your
got it.
song? And I was like, yeah, that look is famous. No? Chaiya, there you go.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
Great song.
What was great is like we got a lot of DMs like that afterwards.
Yeah?
They were like, oh man, like I used to listen to this song when I was a kid, or like this was like I have nostalgia with my parents when I hear
You
this
had
song.
the perfect blend there, man. You had nostalgia, you had up to date Drake, and you also had up to date Burna Boy when it was popping as well. Because
Yeah.
he just got on tour at that point, I think. So
yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, his music's coming back in." Everyone's listening to it again,
It was
and
great.
bam, you just timed everything. Just came together like a perfect blend. What's interesting is that TikTok picked your thing up late. Normally, we tend to notice on ours, if it's not got anything going in the first couple of days, it's dead. Like it never comes back up. There's been one clip that jumped up like 4 or 5 days later. But normally in the first 3 or 4 days for us, we just think, all right, it's done now. It's ran its course. It's
Yeah.
finished.
I think most people think that.
Yeah.
And so like like during my period of unemployment, I had a lot of time to just read and watch random shit, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so like I read up on like the algorithms and like what people think and best practices and stuff, and it's like it's all the same. It's like as long as you're consistent, like I'm gonna sound like a parrot, but
No,
as long as
it's
you're
true.
consistently just putting out content, and then if you see your reviews growing, like even incrementally, like that's good. If it's not, like try changing up something, like change up your background, change up. When I started making mashups, I was like doing it outside, different locations, and I realized, okay, the biggest mashups that are going viral all have like a consistency to them. Like there's like you can expect like this DJ standing in front of this wall, and I was like,
With
let me
a funky
just
shirt on.
yeah.
It's your clothes, man. I'm telling you, man. When you wear funky clothes, I see it. I'm like, yeah, this one.
That's my wardrobe, man.
I'm telling you, man. It's so cool, man.
So yeah, you just gotta be consistent and put it out. You never know which one's gonna hit. I didn't think I thought Chain was like one of the worst mashups I made. I was like, I don't know if this blends. You never know which one's gonna hit.
He's
man.
looking at me because there's a couple things that we've put out, and I'm like, this is
shit is
whack.
funny.
Like, this is corny.
not
This
funny.
sucks.
Yeah.
This isn't it. And then the ones that we think this is gonna go, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
never
not
goes,
worked.
right?
So he'll
What?
message me. There's one clip, right? You know, at the DJ weddings, you get the doll players.
Of course, yeah.
And then like, the doll moves around and it's like he's like humping the doll, and he put some effort into the editing was on point, and it just didn't go. And then we have a clip about like how, you know when you eat roti,
Yeah,
like how you break the burki off.
yeah.
Like a simple thing. We're just like, how do you do it? Do you do it like, do you fold it over? Do you just have it like single pieces?
And I wasn't gonna put this out.
Yeah.
I had it and I gave it to my brother because me and him were checking it. I said, what do you think? He said, no, it's a bit shit. It doesn't really do anything. And I was like, all right, look, I'll pay for it to be edited now. Let me just put it out and just see what happens. I put it out and then boom. And I'm thinking,
You never know.
this is the content people want.
Yeah.
You never know, man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
There's
weird.
a niche for everything, so people are interested in all sorts of stuff.
I read something recently when you had a layover, I think, somewhere, and you put up these screenshots where you showed the graphs and the analysis and the kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, man. You gave like
That's awesome.
Most people don't do that. FYI.
insight.
I really rate you for that.
'cause
Most
the
people are
actual-
really
yeah.
discreet.
It's because most people, you know.
dicks
No,
on
it's
it.
true. It's true.
Yeah, I know, I
Everyone,
say.
everyone keeps it.
Tiddiga.
It's true. Everyone keeps it all to themselves and don't want to share analytics or insights. But if someone asks me how did this video do, I'll show them an example. I'm like, look, this is how it is. This is your little circle chart you get on Instagram that says followers, non-followers.
Yeah.
It shows you average listen time. Just look at that when you can,
It's fascinating.
and then see what it tells you on the insights.
Numbers don't lie, man.
That's
Numbers
it.
But it was the
lie.
insights you had on top of that, which were here learning points. Here's what I learned from this, and
Yeah,
this. And I was
yeah.
like, that's really good, man.
I like to do it twofold. One is like, hey, this is how I'm thinking about it. Any like analytics people out here that are following
Yeah,
me,
please,
like,
please
is
tell
this the
me.
way
Tell
you're
me.
thinking?
Yeah.
Let me get some free advice here. And then two, it's like I've always been about transparency because even when I was rapping, I was like, here's my blueprint of everything I'm doing. Here's how I did my concerts. Here's how I did my mixtapes. Here's how I'm doing my DJing. Someone else can pick it up. The way I see it is like, I feel like when I was coming up in music, like things are different now in my opinion. Like 10 years ago, it was really hard to find brown people that were like doing even like what we're doing now to such a degree.
Yeah.
And now it's like at that time I was like, I struggled so hard to figure out my niche in this world and figure out like who I can follow and find inspiration with. I want to like give people like the blueprint that I have. Like here, if you want to do it, like follow me. This is it. This is how my numbers are looking. Take it and do it better. So I did 10 videos like this. These are my analytics. And then you could take that and tweak it to your degree, you know?
Yeah.
So I always try to like give back if I can, man. It's like there's enough. We can all eat out here.
You're
There's
a
no
unicorn,
reason
man.
to
I'm
guard
telling
anything,
you,
man.
people don't do this. They keep it all to
know.
themselves. They're really quiet. They don't want to help other people out whenever they ask for an opportunity. Goran says to me, I'm too giving. Like, I tell people too much free stuff. He's like, okay, tell them something. And then if they want to know more, you can charge them. I said, no, I feel wrong doing that. Personally, I do. Because I'm like, no one told me. And I'm like, okay, cool. This advice to me is free because I just read it online and tried it. And then I'm going to tell you.
It's fair.
That's how it is.
There probably is a fine line in there. My wife gets on to me about it all the time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there probably
It's
is.
sometimes when you're with people, right? I know this as a doctor. There are people who actually want information that they're actually going to action and implement.
Yeah.
They're the people I'll tell everything because they're actually going to do it. Well, there are other people, they just want to hear everything, but they're not going to do anything with that information. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, like, I'll give you this. If I give you all this, it's going to be overwhelming. You're not going to do anything anyway. Here's 5 things. You want it, here's consultancy, and we'll do it properly.
That's
But
fine.
it's knowing if the person's going to do the work, then yeah, no issue.
Sometimes people take more advice when they pay for it too. You know?
They take
Like,
it seriously.
Yeah, they take it
Like
more
hiring
seriously.
PT, like you take it seriously because you paid for it.
Exactly.
So you'll do it, you'll implement it.
Yeah, the money's paid for now. That's it. It's done. I'm locked in.
Information for
I'm locked
free,
in, baby.
Implementation for a fee. That's it.
Ooh.
That's what my coach tells me.
That's what his
Bars.
coach told him. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good.
You want to drop a mixtape? Put that one, the Ed Sheeran quote.
Put
all
some
that.
quotes in the top.
That's amazing, man. I love it. I gotta write that
No,
down.
it's true, man. It's like
It's great.
you read any book, right? Like we read like Rich Dad Poor Dad and all these kind of self-help books.
Yeah.
The result is what they show you, never the how.
Mm,
You can
true.
get to the end and be like, okay, I want to be rich, but how do I get rich?
sure.
The how is what you pay people for. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Bars. Man.
Next thing I wanted to ask
DJ.
you to go back on a point you said earlier, which is the DJ business is quite beefy. Like the music industry is like, you're taking from me, like you're doing well. I can't see that happen.
Yeah.
Is the DJ industry still like that in your opinion? Like, are you tight with anybody, or is it more like everyone's
Yeah.
themselves and that's it? Because we've got a friend of ours who is a DJ in Birmingham. He's well known. And he's got a couple friends that he really trusts implicitly, that if he's got bookings happening, he says, I can't take it. I'll pass you on to my friend. He can take it. So they work in collaboration.
That's
So
awesome.
therefore, if one can't do it when it's summertime and there's only a limited number of weekends, they can pass it on to another person who they trust is going to do a good job. And a lot of DJing, as I'm sure you know, is referral based, which is if you do a good job, people will come back to you on the wedding day, be like, give me your details. And then there you go, bam, you've got a next lead for when someone else is getting married.
Yeah, no, I think the rap industry was a lot more like CD than the DJ. DJs, I feel like tend to help each other out.
That's nice.
Especially as you build a network.
That's good to hear.
I think when I was like rapping and stuff, it was way different. Because I think it's harder to make it as a rapper, in fairness, to make a lucrative career. It's so competitive. People are just trying to get there. With DJing, I found like you build a nice community. Like people are down to like collab with you, help out. Like I've DM'd DJs that I look up to on Instagram, just like now that I have like a following. And they were like replying, and they're like, "Oh yeah," they're like, "Oh yeah, you want to collab?" Or "Oh yeah, like let's link up or let's do this." And so like I like that aspect.
That's nice.
For me. It's a lot better headspace to be in too. So,
That makes me happy to hear, man. Genuinely, I thought it was going to be the opposite because people are quite territorial.
There's definitely some. I get a lot, dude. You know what gets me? So like, I'm very sensitive. I'll be honest. You know?
Same.
Like, don't roast me, but
I am too.
People like,
oh, this is great, isn't it?
on my like first 20 videos, some people used to comment like, "Oh, like your thing's not even plugged in," and I'm like, "Yes, it is. Like, all I need is one wire going to my laptop, and I'm recording straight from my laptop." And then they'd be like, "Oh, but you're not really DJing." And I'm like, I just spent 30 minutes trying to make this 10-second
Why are
clip.
you here, man, with this comment?
And this I had a couple of people that had so much energy just to hate on my videos. I'm like, bro, and like it messed me up for like a week, man. And then my wife was like, "Hey, what are you doing?
Why are you pointing at me, man?"
No, you know the recent comment we had?
Which one?
Which is, I don't know. So we had this recent comment and it was like, "Oh, why don't you wear a turban on your head?" And then normally Indy's response is, "If it's not for you, keep scrolling." But this time you left like a thing and then people started jumping, "Ooh, getting sensitive, ooh."
You know why?
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's like the 9th or 10th time I've heard someone say this, and I've addressed it on the podcast and I've spoken about it in depth. But people keep saying it, and I'm like, okay, someone said it on a post, and I say, "No, I've been waiting for this fucking comment."
Oh
and
my
I
God.
literally wrote that. I said, I've been waiting
today.
for this comment, and then I just went in, and then someone said, "You've got an ego." I was like, "Fuck off!" Right? Jesus, if you're gonna sit there and say I've got an ego when you got the gall to fucking challenge me on my beliefs, do one. Yeah, I'm not here for it.
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
like, also, you're in our comment section. Take your fucking shoes off. Like, pay some respect to do it properly.
Shoes off.
Genuinely,
Dude,
like
I love
come
it.
in here and come in here and act correct, or otherwise piss off.
Well,
Like,
you know
I'm not here
what?
for it.
Sometimes it's good to engage, because then when they engage back, it's just
Yeah,
it's
it
helping
is.
out
I'm
a
like,
little
cool.
bit.
Now you're screaming into existence, and I'm not gonna engage back. That's it. Done.
That's fair.
I've
Man.
said my
Well,
bit.
most recent videos that actually went quite well, 250,000 views. Two people basically got into a fight and they turned into like an 80 comment thread, which at this point they're not talking about the video, they're talking about whatever they're talking about. They're planning to have a fight, they're planning a fight, there's a time and a date. we're all here like watching, like, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen?
No kidding.
And we're just like, look, it's happening on our platform, is good, man. You push that video up.
Honestly, yeah.
a good one.
Sometimes
The hate isn't towards us, so good.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
sometimes the press
It's
is good,
silly.
man. Sometimes the press is good.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is you make a lot of music with a Punjabi influence. Is that because you make the most fire beats?
Loaded question. Like Punjabi music, the best music in the world. That's what
Dude,
he's
look,
asking.
Punjabi music is flaming, man. I love it.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to like love Desi music, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
So I was just telling someone yesterday, like I had to learn to love it. So like when you go to a
Interesting.
wedding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You hear the same 50 to 100
Yeah,
songs.
100%.
Every wedding.
Yeah.
No matter where you go around the world, every wedding, the same 50 to Sadi Gali, a couple other ones like
Aj din khushiyan la sajna. Yeah, that's it.
Man, you got it. So I was like, okay, like let me master these 50 to 100 songs and then start putting my own twist on it. in that process, like recently, you know, for the last few years, got more and more into Punjabi music.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, like I've been missing out. Like this shit slaps, man. Like it's so vibey. And now, especially like in this day and age, I feel like a lot of Punjabi music is like, it's very modern. Like it sounds like hip hop, or it sounds like something you hear in America.
People like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I try not to always do Punjabi mixes, but lately I've just been doing a lot because I'm like, they vibe,
like
they
it,
work,
like it.
they mix well. Yeah, it's all good, man. So yeah, I'm big. Like I love.
But you also love Hindi as well, man. Like you drop some old like Hindi, and I'm like, yo, it's such a banger, man. But you don't hear it. You never hear it in this context, and then you mash it up, and I'm just like, okay.
What's like? You guys have friends that don't like Desi music?
Yeah,
just because they've heard it so much, or like. So like,
I've got a brother who despises all Desi music. Hates it.
Actively.
With a passion, like actively goes after it. Like,
At his
he's like,
wedding
"I hate it."
reception, he's like, I'm not dancing to this.
No kidding.
Yeah. Let the English music come on. Yeah.
That was
Oh
him.
damn, that's intense.
Very intense. Try growing up in that household.
All right, so you and your brother. Well, so I try to think. I have a lot of friends like that back home.
Okay.
I used to be one of those too.
Okay.
I'm always like, how do I make a mashup to get those guys to listen to Desi music?
That's
right?
what you're trying to answer. Okay.
Well, if I put some Drake on it, would they listen? If I put like Burna Boy, if I put Pop Smoke, whatever. Like, how do I modernize like this a little
That's
bit?
super cool, actually. I like that.
And I think that's been my approach for every mashup that we make now. So like, one of our mashups was like Mickey Sing and Jay-Z and Kanye. It was like our second mashup. And all of a sudden, like, it was a Mickey Sing song that I love, right? No. Like, I just love that. But none of my friends listen to that, right?
I'm not gonna lie, that sounded like she could become.
That's on my list. It's on my list too.
I'll wait for that mix.
Yeah, right. But now that I dropped Jay-Z and Kanye on it, they're like, oh. And then they're listening to a Mickey Sing song. They're like, oh,
it's
that's
relevant.
dope. Yeah. And then same with like the Bollywood mixes that I've done too. So like that's kind of my headspace. That's behind. Yeah, man. That'd be crazy. But yeah, your brother, dude, tell your brother to listen to my masters, man.
Mate, I actually will.
Maybe
I'm not
he'll
gonna
get-
lie, I actually will. Thing is, he likes it when things are mixed exactly like how you said.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this bangs. I'm like, yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
We've done some weddings, man, where like the groom's like, hey, like I don't like Desi music,
Okay.
but like I get it. My family is, we have to have it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I love the way you mix it in with American music. I can like tolerate that. So
How
I'm
do you
like,
do
okay.
that on the day though? If you're DJing
Yeah.
in person, how do you schedule those mixes to go live on the day? Do you have to just dub it on top quickly as it's playing?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I have my mixes. So I'll have like 30 pre-made mixes that I have.
Okay.
What I love to do as a DJ is like now it's so easy to do an acapella stem and an instrumental. It's like a push of a button. So like you have this song
Yeah.
by Oh Fresh, The Champ Is Here. I can push a button and it's just the instrumental, and I can push a button and it's just the acapella.
How do you do that?
Oh.
I know I'm getting into the weeds a bit, but
No, you're good. DJ software now has what you call stems. So you can do
Okay.
an instrumental stem, you can do an acapella stem. You could get just the drums, you can get just,
So it just separates the
instruments.
parts.
Yeah.
instantly.
It's all at a push of a button. It's
seriously,
amazing.
It
Any song.
separates.
Any song.
So
technology's
If
gotten
I was
so
to
good.
take a Kanye beat right now, it would break out every single level, like
Yeah.
all the drums, all that stuff.
Not every single level, but like the 3-4
The
big
three
levels.
biggest
What
ones,
enough?
or
Yeah,
four biggest
which
ones.
is enough. So when you're DJing, it's very easy to make live mashups, and that's what I love doing. Is like when I'm DJing a wedding or anything, it's like, oh, Chaiya's playing, or like some Kabhi Kushi Kabhi Gum song, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, here's the motto by Drake over like this beat. Shava Shava we mix with like an EDM Tiesto song
Oh my God.
the other day. It was just on the dance floor. It's like, okay, the young kids are coming in.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
throw some EDM beats on it, and then all
Now
of a sudden, it's
everybody's
like, yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. So it's very easy now. It's just a skill, right? You just got to take time to develop it
Yeah.
and get the ear for it.
I guess my question on the back of that, as we were discussing this yesterday, is what does it mean in the modern era? Let's just talk about weddings then. What does it mean to be a DJ? Is a DJ somebody who comes and plays
Yeah.
mixes, right? Because we have some people say, oh, no, he's just mixing. That's not DJing. What is
Super.
DJing? What is the purest form of DJing?
Man, I think you'll get 100 different answers on this.
You will.
man.
You will.
To me, like
Hmm.
this probably won't be the most popular answer, but I really think, especially as if you're doing a wedding
Hmm.
or a special event for somebody, 80% of DJing is picking the right songs at the right time.
Timing.
Because a lot of these guys don't care if you can scratch or if you can like do XYZ on the turntables. It's like, hey, can you play the right song at the right time to set the vibe? Because that's what you're doing. You're setting the vibe. The last 20% is like where you could be creative as a DJ, mashups, do this and that and third, especially when it comes to the dance floor. But a lot of times you just like, you got to set the mood. You got to play the right songs at the right time. play this mashup at this time.
So I guess it's like, if I was DJ, I'd be like, how do I keep people on dance floor? Like you go to weddings and you see people just not wanting to dance. The dance floor's empty.
Yeah.
That must be like discouraging. But I guess once they're on the dance floor, then you can do that creative shit. They're here now.
Exactly.
Right? Like they're sold. Now let's add all the other levels.
Well, I'll ask you this, like, how do you become good at podcasting?
Just keep doing it.
Just keep going. Keep trying.
Do you guys listen to podcasts?
Yeah. Loads.
Yeah, okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and you got to enjoy talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys aren't like super introverted all the time.
You know what? Genuinely, I did a test recently at work, and I am actually more introverted than most.
No kidding.
I'm on the like medium spectrum of introvert. I don't talk that much.
He's come a long way. One of the main reasons he started a podcast was for this reason. So he talked
right
more.
on.
So
Yeah, I used to have a really bad stutter as a kid. I had no confidence.
No kidding.
Yeah, really bad.
I would have never guessed.
So I had to work on that, and then this was an opportunity to do public speaking without being in the public sphere.
I love it.
So it's like a nice little middle point, and I get to talk to a friend who I'm comfortable talking to.
Yeah.
So therefore it works, and then I'm gradually growing in like a different direction and get to talk to cool people like yourself. So it all works well and it blends together. So for me, I am more introverted than most. And in the workplace, I'm not loud. I'm very to myself because I'm sitting there listening to podcasts and like analyzing stuff in the background, because you have to be a bit of a data analytics kid, but also have some creativity within you that's just quiet. And then in the right moments like this, where it's your sphere, you then talk about it.
I love that.
But I think that's why we work as well.
Yeah.
Like if we were exactly the same as loud people, then all the behind the scenes, all the stuff.
Nothing would get done.
Nothing would get done. Right?
No.
So you need to be that.
I said this to you in the morning. Like I said this to you today.
Morning. Yeah.
This morning
he
I
walked
said
into the room. What did you say? What was the line?
I said
we work together.
I said we complement each other well with our skill sets.
That's cute, man.
Yeah, he said it.
Which is like you do
QA as well. He
certain
said that.
things really well. I do
okay.
certain things really well.
Let me pull my
and
boxes
it's-
Then he brought you flowers.
He does stuff well. I do
100%.
stuff well, which is like I'm the creative side, he's the business side.
That's perfect.
He's the finance side. I'm other side, like of creativity and getting things together and doing the tech. So I'm like, okay, cool, it works because we have our defined responsibilities. There's nothing ever gets lost.
You're a good compliment.
It just gets given to one person or the other, and you just do it.
How'd you guys meet? I'm curious.
Oh man, so do you wanna
what's the
tell
background
the
here?
story? Rinse me out one more time, why don't you?
Do
So we
Punjabis
went to
walk
different
into one?
universities.
Okay.
Yes.
And so we were both into bhangra. Like
right on.
big time. So university scene in UK, very big.
Go.
Very big in Canada, America as well. Bhangra, massive. Like when we were getting into bhangra, we'd watch all the sets that came out there. We're like, this is the blueprint. This is how we need to do it.
Yeah.
And so that still continues. So then we both joined a professional team after university at different times.
No kidding.
So I there was a comp coming up. I couldn't do it, work reasons, and he filled in.
Okay.
Then I get a call, not from him, the captain. He's like, can you come down? This guy, I don't know who he is at this point, is injured. You may need to step in like a couple of weeks before. I'm like, okay, I come have a look. I walk into this like studio, and you gotta bear in mind, I've never met this guy before. And I'm working with somebody else who's teaching me some of the choreo, like, yeah, it's this and this and this.
Yeah.
He walks over, dickhead over here, and says, yep, you need to learn this. Your leg isn't right. Your hand isn't right.
No kidding.
So he says all this stuff to me, right? And I'm just like, okay. So then I walk to my other friend. I'm like, who's this dickhead man? Right? And he's like, oh, yeah, he's Indy. And that's actually the first time we met. And for a long time, I did not like Indy at all. Because his energy was just weird, man. He'd just be really like, sucky uppy. And I was like, just be your own guy, man. And only recently, like the staycation I told you about, the missus were on away. Me and his missus were very similar, me and Sanj. And we were talking like how he plays the extremely long game. Like he just wears you down. He wore her down. He wore me down. And we're here sitting here like, Suk's nodding as well. He wore Suk down as well. He's just like, how do we like him now? Like that just doesn't make sense. And but yeah, now we're inseparable. And he keeps trying to tell me like, oh, I'm your best friend. I'm in your family. I added him to YouTube Premium.
Oh,
like
nice.
2 days ago.
Oh, you're on the family
the invite,
plan.
Yeah. The invite says family, and then he got really happy. He's like, I'm part of family now. And I was like, why are you taking this? Like, just a
So
professional.
you are the sensitive one in this relationship.
Yes, I told you. Me and you are not
that.
different, man. Very sensitive hearts.
On this
That's what it is.
vacation, we
feel
woke
that.
up in the morning, bro. Like we're making coffee, having breakfast, right? And like morning is a quiet time. You got to wake up. You got to slowly get into day.
Yeah.
He comes out of the room like 100 energy, like woo. And I was like, Indy, just calm down, man.
Oh, amazing.
And then the next minute, he's like, oh, he's like really low. I was like, bro, you just up.
You guys balance each other out.
Yeah, it works. It works
awesome.
well. It
That
does.
works.
But that's how we met, man.
That's
and
how
then
we met.
then the podcast itself.
Didn't happen for a long time. Though. Like we started to just jam for bhangra reasons.
We started to relax. We started to meet in a group setting with a bunch of other friends.
Yeah.
And then over time, I think you were filming medical stuff.
That was it. He became my videographer for my other company.
Which I wasn't good at. I'm going to be honest.
Really? He was
Videography
cheap.
is not my bag.
He was cheap. He had a camera. I was like, bro, just you do it because I couldn't afford this anyway.
That's it.
And he'd do stuff. And he's like, what do you think? I'm like, bro, it's better than what I do. So keep doing it. He'd mess around a lot. He bought cameras and stuff.
Yeah. Bought a few things. Managed to get some equipment. Filmed for him. And then I thought, we've got some equipment. But I want to try and start a podcast because it was popping off a lot.
Yeah.
But also I thought, got a few things in me I want to try and clear up. I don't feel like I get heard from a lot of my friends at the time. So I want to kind of have my own space where I can be me.
He says this
And then that's what happened with him.
We're on
and
holiday.
I sat him down, like COVID.
We're on holiday in Italy, and he's just like, I just want to be heard.
Oh,
I was like, what is it with you, man?
This guy.
It's true.
Right,
No, it's
pre-COVID.
right on.
So no, it was during COVID.
Okay. Yeah.
No, was it?
As in pre, I think, remember you asked a few times. It wasn't the first. You started
I get this
asking.
mixed up all the time, man.
It was pre-COVID. December 2019 when we shot the first one, released in January 2020.
Amazing.
Yes.
COVID
correct.
came, lockdown came March 2020. But pre-2019, that year, he was floating the idea.
Amazing.
He's only doing a podcast. I was like, bro, I'm doing so many things. Not top of my priority. Just
Fair.
Then he does one with his sister.
Oh yeah.
which fails, yeah.
No,
But the
that's
reason me and my sister are like exactly the same. So we didn't do any of the back end stuff. So we're good at talking.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer, super confident. Like we do all that stuff, but
Amazing.
like we didn't have this technical brain. And so we did it for a bit. And we're like, nah, this isn't for us.
What did y'all talk about?
So that was like just trying to talk about brown stuff and
Yeah, that's
you know,
cool.
the brown experience. And we did 3 episodes. And we're like, yeah,
Is
okay,
it
this isn't gonna
it?
work. And so he's flying the idea, and I'm just like, Indy, no, Indy, no. Like, but then in true Indy fashion, he just wears you down, man. Like, you get to a point, you're just like, okay.
It was like on his sofa at home. I just pulled out my iPhone and I just hit record, and I was like,
Today, listen to the
Let's
first
do
10
this.
seconds of the first episode.
let's have a chat.
Oh hell yeah.
And it's just literally, so we're doing a podcast.
The sound quality is horrifically bad.
Yeah.
It's on an iPhone in a massive echoey room.
Amazing.
There's no
Amazing.
video. There's no mics. Nothing.
But you just started.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
And I
That's
got my
how you
doctor
started.
voice on. It's like, it doesn't sound like this now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really like formal. And for the, I don't know, first 30 episodes, he's like, stop sounding like a
I kept
doctor."
saying to him, he's not being himself whenever things are being, whenever he's speaking.
Yeah.
It's just, he's putting on this like facade.
Okay.
And I'm like,
No,
Gordon, just be yourself. Because I know him off camera. He's a very funny guy. But on
Yeah.
it, he was putting on this whole
Hilarious.
like, no, I need to be like a formal, composed doctor,
Nah.
playing a persona. But I'm like, just be yourself. You're a doctor by graduation, not that's
Sure.
who you actually are.
Sure.
Prior to you being a doctor, you had a personality, right? So just show
Bring
that, and
back.
you've shown it now. So there you go.
That's amazing. That's a great story.
I feel like you flipped this onto us now.
I
Hang on,
did.
what's
This is
going
my
on here?
podcast now. This is the old fresh podcast. But the reason I'll close it. So you guys love podcasts. You listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Same with DJing. Like you have to learn to like love being on a dance floor.
Correct.
Love like how do you be a good DJ? Is like how do you know when to play the right songs? I have to enjoy the weddings that I go to. Like I used to go to so many weddings, and now every time I go to a wedding now, I'm like, okay, what would I want to hear like while I'm eating dinner? You know, I'm always thinking about
So
that
you're
kind of
actually
stuff.
thinking from the audience perspective.
You got
which
to.
is smart.
And what do I want to dance to? Like, I tell my wife, like, hey, I want to go to like this club this weekend. We hate like going to clubs. But I'm like, I just want to go listen to the DJ and like feel the vibe at like 1 a.m. at this time, at this
Research.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it's pure research. People are like,
Yeah.
dude, get out of here. You're not going to research. You don't need bottle service to research. I know, this is all, I just need to hear out this DJ. But genuinely, I love like just being out just so I can hear the energy, hear and feel the energy of people. I think like that plays a big difference.
There's a lot
You
of
know?
psychology that goes into this where you have to sit down and be like, hang on,
How
what's the
Yeah.
crowd feeling at this point? Have people drank too much? Are they getting leery? Are they getting loud? Is it dying?
Yeah.
Are people leaving?
Exactly.
Then you're
exactly.
thinking, okay, do I have to pull them back in? Am I trying to play something that's now like a different hour? It's a lot to
Exactly.
think about, and you've got to be reactive in the moment because you have to look out and be like, what are they feeling right now?
Exactly.
To
Because
this.
sometimes your game plan is like totally different.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, maybe I can't play Taylor Swift at 1:30. Maybe I need to,
Yeah.
maybe I need to do something else. So it's like you won't know unless you're in that situation. Sometimes the DJ booth is like all the way in the corner, man. Like sometimes you don't have a great view of the crowd either, which is like not the best situation, but you got to adapt. But I know, like, okay, I know how I feel at this time when I'm in this kind of crowd, just because I've done it on the other side. So like I say that with any practice that you do, athletes, like you don't become good at football or soccer
yeah.
or basketball by
Yeah.
just watching, right? You got to do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I view things too.
Burning question I've got is, how do you take a piss during the evening or like at nighttime when it's all
Yo.
dark and you're obviously mixing every 2-3 minutes.
Yes, it's a
So
great
how do
question.
Self-categorize.
Nature's calling, man.
So-
Knocking like, yo,
I have a very small bladder. I gotta take a piss right now, but
we can take a break if you want.
Like, I need a 5 minute. I always put on like, especially when I'm doing Desi music or Desi gigs, is like, you know, there's a Drake remix of Mia that Twin Beats did.
Yes.
It's like 5 minutes long.
Yes, it is.
I throw that on and I go take a piss.
That's so smart. That's your get out of jail free card.
I know how long this mix is. That or like I'll throw
Never
on
mind.
something like something long, especially like the older Desi music. I'll just throw it on and go take a piss, come back. I do like 2 or 3.
pushing on the 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Half the minute. Yeah, you put that on.
Maybe I should
You're
do
good,
that.
man. You do number 2 as well.
Yeah, when you come back, the dance was deserted. You're like,
Interesting question, because we said before the podcast, you speak Urdu, understand Urdu, right?
Yeah,
So during lockdown, bro, I'm in hospital and I got a lot of Urdu speaking patients.
of course. Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, so all right, I'll ask India. India knows this, but in Punjabi, number 2, toilet. What do you call that in Punjabi?
Dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the only word I know. Like, "Tatti karni, potty karni." Like, I have to ask about the bowel habits, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, like, he's like, the guy doesn't understand. And he goes, "Nahi, saab, bada pashab theek hai." Bada pashab. What's up? Pashab means wee, man. I
Yeah.
was like, big piss. You're taking a big piss. I was like, I don't know. Number 2. He's like, sab in Urdu. So I didn't know this, but bada pashab is number 2.
Oh,
Shorta pashab, bada pashab.
I didn't know that.
I don't know.
I
I was
didn't know
like,
that
that's so nice in the sing.
Dirty.
yeah.
It's just.
It sounds like smoother.
It's so soft.
Oh yeah. Dirty is just one of the most disgusting words.
Yeah, it is,
I
it
just never
is.
like saying it. It's just like.
They can't. There's no other way of spinning it.
There's no
Yeah,
other way
it
of
is.
explaining
It
that,
is.
no.
Butter for shop. I'll have to do that.
Pashab, you know?
Yeah,
I was like,
butter
that's
for
so
shop.
nice. So
Short
simple.
over that. I love it,
What did we
man.
learn yesterday? So if you're in a 3, so
Yeah.
it's 3 siblings,
Okay.
and there's like the eldest, the middle, and the youngest.
Yeah.
So all right, so we learned this yesterday. So the oldest, badda, or
Sure.
baddi, choti. What do you call the middle one?
Huddy.
That's an accepted answer.
What is it? Okay.
Indy, what's the official word?
Govely.
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 It sounds like a made up word, bro.
So his wife said it recently, and he had to ring me to check if this was a real word.
I
No
was
kidding.
howling, like hyperventilating. I
It's
said,
like,
no,
it's not
stop the
not
story. Stop
Stop
the
the
story. Had to get my phone out. I had to
Like,
call
give
him. I was
me-
like,
give
yo,
me.
is this real? And he's like, yeah, it's kind of real. But the word we like to use is...
Bijgarli.
Oh,
Bijgarli is a nicer way of saying it.
Gotcha.
And then so yesterday on the podcast, he was like, "Is that because you're Shah Banda? You saying my wife's opinion? Is that what you're saying?" It's like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not
That's
saying that.
amazing. Yeah, I need some lessons after this,
Yeah,
man.
for
Yeah,
sure.
just give
We
me
can
like.
go through that.
the
We need a
100
piss, right? So
I
we
do.
come
Can I
back.
take?
Yeah, go.
All right,
It's
cool.
Welcome back.
And we're back after susu time. Chota pashab ho gaya. So we learned some new Punjabi words and Urdu words today. So you're
Amazing.
using chota pashab, bada pashab.
I'm gonna say that
You
all
love
the
it, you
time
love
now.
it.
Yeah.
You're gonna do
it.
Darling,
That was
I'm
nice,
going
that
for
was
bada
nice.
pashab.
I love it, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I love about British people?
Go.
First of all, like the accent's amazing. Blimey, blah blah blah.
Oh, the actual
It's just-
British, like,
yeah, oh yeah.
How will I we?
the way you
not
guys
actually-
talk is amazing, right?
No.
Oh, I
But-
think you look wonderful.
Okay, hang on. You're fantasizing over a London accent. If I do different accents to you, you're not gonna like it.
No kidding.
Let's show him a few.
Show me, yeah.
Right,
Alright.
You're right, Omar from Birmingham. I think your DJing's absolutely wicked.
No kidding.
Doesn't that sound unattractive?
It's okay.
No one's
That sounds
married.
Maybe
disgusting.
London.
My wife would not marry me if I had that accent.
Well, I think it's cool is like you have this British accent. As soon as you speak Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi,
It sounds.
you're back to the motherland.
Straight,
And
everyone
it's like
is.
same in America. Like we're back to the motherland.
Yeah.
Well, unless you, not me. I have a terrible accent. But it's just crazy that like we all have different American or English accents, I should say, and,
then
then
it
just
just
like
comes warm,
it just
straight
comes
back to
back
the
with it.
motherland.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
We did a reel a while ago where we said, if you're from a different country but you speak, say, Punjabi Urdu, do you do it in that accent? So, for example, if you're
Yeah.
Scottish people like Braveheart, right? Like from Scotland, but like, tu cha pi nahi hai. Like, do you add the accent of the Scottish on top of the Punjabi? It's so weird, and people just
curious.
loved it. They're like, yeah, we have this accent, and so.
Oh, they do. Interesting.
yeah. So-
I don't think I've heard it. That's
They
amazing.
actually do, yeah. As they speak Punjabi, they have like a Scottish twang on it. It's
That's
like,
amazing.
whoa,
Which is
that's-
so like you
that's
can't even
really
comprehend it. You're
impressive.
like, ooh, like, how's that working? Man?
If
The
there's
most
any,
trippy thing is seeing Indian Asian speak with a German accent and then flip to the mother language. You're like, whoa.
oh, I don't think I've heard
Because
that.
hearing someone speaking German is quite aggressive.
Sprachen
Sure.
Sie Deutsch?
Yeah.
Ich heiße Jazz.
And then
It's very loud.
go to smooth Punjabi. Right, it's like, whoa, hang on.
Mitti, mitti.
Where's that come from? That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
amazing.
That was very volatile. Okay.
I need everyone to DM me in their foreign language. I'm just so
Oh,
curious
do
about this.
it.
Man.
People
These
do
audio
that.
clips, man.
Do that for him, man. That'll
That's
make my life so
amazing.
much
Make into a
easier.
big mashup. Man.
Gotta hear this.
That'd be good, man.
That'd be sick. You're a man of many languages, yeah.
Oh, bro.
Right on.
That's the thing.
When you're young, you don't appreciate this thing. And as I get
No,
older,
no.
like being a linguist is a great thing. When you connect with people, like I love traveling. I'm learning Italian at the moment. I go to Italy and I'll say a few things. And then they actually think I speak Italian. I'm like, no. I know like a few things.
That's
it,
amazing.
you know? But saying it like Shindy, for ages, I'm like, you need to say like, grazie. She'll be like, grazie. Grazie. I was like, say it, like,
Grazie.
you know, like, I was like, just say it properly, man. Like, buongiorno. And she'll be like, buongiorno. 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 I'm like, Shindy, try. And I should do it. So.
Well, it's funny. We went to I guess Paris once upon a time,
Yeah.
and we went to like this crepe place. Like, I guess what's the proper way of saying crepe?
Crêpe.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I said crepes. I was like, hey, do you have crepes? There's like I thought we were pretty southern. There was like another southern family that walked in from America. And they're like, y'all got any crepes in here? I was like, oh man.
Oh, damn.
I was like, where you guys from? They were like, oh, Texas. I was like, oh man, not me. Man, don't be like that.
Texas.
I'm not from that south in Texas. No.
Yeah, they were. I respected them. Man. Y'all got any crepes in here? I was like, man,
No? Okay.
You could try a little bit, man. Crepes.
You had a
Anyway.
question, got him.
So, bro, we talked about Chaiya, obviously mad. But there was another clip
Yes.
which lives rent-free in my head, which is just one of the best, obviously, mixes of all time. Talk us through that, man. 10 million views, like,
Yeah.
gold status
Dude.
in that one clip. Tell us about that, man.
So that was like one of my best friends got married.
She's the she or the he?
The he,
The he,
and then
okay.
the she. Ultimately, I think you're my best friend now too. For what it's worth.
You gotta give him a shout out now.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Amr. So like we did a lot of stuff for his. It was so crazy for his wedding. You know, you do like mehndi dances or
That's
sangeet
it.
dances, things
Yeah.
like that. We did a rendition of Hamilton. Like so, I
Ooh.
redid 5 acts from Hamilton and just like remixed it for him. Like all lyrics were like towards him and his relationship. It's phenomenal. But the most phenomenal part of that was Umna, the bride.
Yeah.
She wanted to come out to something unique, so she did this like. In fairness, this was a mix, Still Dre,
Yeah.
with a bhangra beat behind it.
Yeah.
That they found on YouTube,
Okay.
and then I added a little spice to it with some other things.
Yeah.
And then we just filmed her. She came out to it. She's from California, so like Punjabi herself. Like
When it says when the bride is Punjabi, that thing.
Yeah.
It's so, and she's proper like.
yeah. And it was beautiful because she's from California. And the wedding was in Texas.
Okay.
So it's like she comes out and it's like California love, and then you hear the
Yeah.
dole, and it's just like it was so hype in the moment.
Oh.
My friend captured it on video. I was like, oh my god, I gotta put this up. Can I put it up?
Yeah.
And then we put it up. Literally, like that was within like 30 minutes. That video was gone.
Yeah.
That was like our
40
first.
minutes, wow.
That was the first viral video we ever had, and that like hasn't stopped since. Which
How long ago was that video put up?
so that was August of last
And
year.
it's still going now. Do you see like random likes on it now?
Yeah, still go every day. Just random
Whoa.
likes on it. It's obviously slowed down a bit, but it's
Yeah,
like
but
10
still.
million.
No, bro. Like it's a statement, man. Like anyone who wants to work.
Crazy.
Like here's my portfolio. Speak to yourself.
Exactly. You
Blue
know
tick, 10 million views. Thank you very
what
much.
was amazing at that time is Instagram was paying for reels. I don't know if you remember, like there was a period of time where creators were getting paid for reels.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
We've missed the boat in
We missed that point very quickly.
But you had to get-
TikTok still pays you. If it's over a minute, you get paid. Like,
Oh, interesting. I
If
didn't
you,
know
opt, if you opt into something, it allows you to do it. His
That's
eyes are
right,
lighting
that's
up right now. Listen, we'll talk about it another time. Okay?
Money.
Oh yeah, we
But-
gotta talk about that.
Yeah, it does pay you for every X amount of views you get a check.
That's sick. That's
Yeah.
sick. Well, that reel, so there was a cap on it. Like you can only make like a certain amount of money. But that reel was our first one that started going like million, 2 million. And I think we got like $700 that month. And I was
Take
like,
it.
oh, I need
pass it.
I was like, do I need to give that to you guys back as a wedding gift? Or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
can I keep this?
Royalty.
Royalties. But that was the first time that I was like, oh, okay, like maybe some of our mixes have a chance. You know, that was the first like seed.
Is that mixed
proof
up anywhere? Like the whole mix?
No, I've thought about it, but like the original mix was so good, I added like my own little sprinkle.
Okay.
But like I was like, okay, like I can't really like I don't want to
Claim
take
it.
someone else's mixes
Yeah.
and make my own edit. So like people have asked me about that, and I just direct them to that YouTube video. I'm like, here, most of it's here. If you want me to like chop it up more, I'll give it to you. But like I try to give credit where I can. Like if it's not my mix, it's not my mix. You know, a lot of like great people out here. So yeah, that was. But that from there, I was like, okay, we should start doing our own stuff fully and just putting it up.
You need those. I think somebody calls it. I think Steve Harvey calls it these turn back moments in life.
Yeah.
When it's like you get that proof of concept. This can work, And then it's like, let's do this.
Exactly. Yeah. And
you've had it, man.
And again, that was like Chaiya for us too. And then it was like after Chaiya, a couple videos after that, we dropped like this remix with Shub, Drake, ASAP Ferg. And that video did better than Chaiya. That's when like things really started popping. And I was like, okay, this is like, I can make this a career. Like we could actually go places with this. And then it felt like every video after that was just getting bigger and bigger. And like people were commenting like, Bad Shot like that video. I was like, what? Whoa. It was insane. We made like a Jay Sean remix. Jay Sean commented. Izu was on that. Izu commented. The best one was like we made this AP Dhillon remix, Circles, Post Malone and AP Dhillon with
That's
you.
Good. We had the videos on top of that.
Yeah. And then AP Dhillon commented on that video. This was like the day of my birthday. Like I had birthday August 29th. Yeah. I woke up that day and I was like just chilling at home. 12 o'clock comes around. I'm like, I get this notification. It's a blue check mark. I always like double check the blue check mark.
Yeah, same. Because you have to click on the profile and then click on the check and see when they got it. I'm like, you paying for this? Or is
see who it is. Yeah. Because we had some interesting people. So I was like, okay, who is this? And it's like AP dot like Dhillon with the X on it or whatever. I was like, is this a fan account? Yeah. Like, let me click on this. And I would click on it. It goes to his profile. And I was like, nah. Let me back up. Yeah. I checked it like 3 times. And I was like, I called my wife over. I was like, yo, is this AP? Is this the real AP Dhillon? She's like, oh my God. My wife's sister is there. Yeah. We all just pause. And I was like, there's no way. And then I just stand up.
Happy birthday.
And we all just started like yelling like little kids. Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, that was like the highest point of like the last 6 months. I was like, AP Dhillon comment on my video. This is crazy. We made it. After that, I was like, all right, all these hate comments, I don't care about it. It's true. We got the validation that we needed. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. But everything kind of, in fairness, like I owe a lot to that wedding video. Like everything really started with that. And that was like the seed that was like, okay, this is possible.
Wow.
This is possible. Let's keep it going.
And you've been to Lake Como recently as well for a set there.
I did. It was for a friend's wedding.
Oh, okay.
But we've gotten, we'll have a couple gigs in Lake Como coming up. Lake Como's a spot now. Desis are getting married there. Yeah.
I've noticed.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I think because Ranveer got married there.
I think it's definitely that for sure. Yeah. The Bollywood effect is real, man, with everything.
Yeah.
I can't remember the place now, but yeah.
But the lake is like just as beautiful as it is in the pictures. It was like one of the few places I've been to personally that I'm like, this lives up to the hype.
You're in that pinstripe suit. It was really nice.
Thank you. I bought it that morning.
And you said you ripped it recently.
I did. It was a size too small. So I always had to keep it open. And then I wore it to...
How did you rip it? What were you doing?
I was bhangraing.
Really? Yes.
Oh, so on the floor.
Not even behind the... I went to a wedding recently. We just did a wedding in Turkey.
Yeah.
Went there and like I wore it for the reception. And then, there was a point in time where I'm like, I try to get into it with the people. I put my hands
with
up.
the people.
I'm like, oh, and then I was like, I need to reach down and like change the song. I reached down and I'm like, damn. No, it was too much barfy. I was just tapped it in. And then I ripped it. So yeah, I'm in the market for a new suit now, man.
Well, listen, you're in London, baby.
This
is the home of fashion.
I recently found that out last night.
If you want to like you can get
last night.
What?
Oh.
I was in a hoodie and jeans last night with like a nice jacket. I thought I looked great.
Right.
My London friends were like, dude, you look like shit. Like I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, no, people in London like gentlemen, clean cut. Like you need to dress up more.
Like what's that film I always quote, man? Shindy, what's the film? Gentleman. Kingsman.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Don't click at your wife, man.
No, I'm not. Clicking at myself. I'm clicking at myself. Okay. It's his scarf. He loves to bring this up.
That's amazing. Well, that's when I realized London people are like pretty fly.
Tailored kapade. This is the place, man. You can get bespoke suits. Yeah.
I love it. Same with Desi clothes or no?
Yeah. You can take the right people.
Oh, perfect. I gotta go shopping here for real. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta change it up a little bit. Right. You asked yesterday in the WhatsApp group with us about the royal family. So what I want to ask you is,
and he got it wrong.
What's the perception of the royal family among Desi people in the States?
Oh my God.
Do they like idolize them? What's their perception compared to over here?
Man, I can't speak for the populace, man, but
Texans, what do Texans say? It's hard, Mardo.
Here's what I think about the royal family, man. I feel like it's very split. I feel like we have like 50% of our people, right? I think they're British or like obsessed with the royal family.
Yeah.
Like some of our parents talk about them in the most highest esteem.
Yes.
Like, my parents love the royal family.
Yeah.
But the other 50% are like, these guys like oppressed us for a long time. Like there's a reason why like we should hate them. I think it's really split. For me, it's like I don't want to say this while I'm here, but like,
You can.
it's like
no one's gonna hit you, man. Like,
I don't understand. I understand to an extent why, you know,
It still
the
exists,
importance.
or-
Yeah, I understand. But like, I'm like, dude, these people did not do great things to a lot of people around
Yeah.
the world. So like,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where
no,
the-
it's
the
true.
split lies.
There is a lot of. It's split in England as well, but
Yes.
apparently disdain for the royal family is growing more and more.
Yeah, I
Because
believe it.
recently, who was it? Which prince was caught messing around?
Edward.
No, not Edward. Lizzie's son, the one that was
Yeah.
disowned him back in.
With Jeff Epstein.
Andrew.
Andrew.
Oh, no
not-
kidding.
not
Prince
Edward.
Andrew was the
Epstein.
Queen's son. Still
Yeah.
is, but
Is
the
the
Queen
Queen's
isn't here
son.
anymore, right?
Right.
But he was the favourite. He was messing around with Jeffrey Epstein, also with that girl in a Pizza Express here in the UK,
Oh, I didn't know that.
accused of having inappropriate activities with her.
Mm.
And
Ooh.
essentially, the case was settled out of court.
Mm.
It was settled because his mum paid for it.
Ah,
The Queen paid for it. The money that was paid for it is taxpayers' money because
oh,
as
wow.
a part of our taxes, we pay into something called the Royal Grant, which is money they live off.
Oh, see, that would.
So-
that took me.
so-
Okay.
So hang on. But that infuriated a lot of the local
Yeah,
population because
sure.
they're saying he should face the consequences for his actions.
Yes.
And
Naturally.
now he's just been wiped clean. And
Naturally.
everyone's forgotten about it. He was taken away from all
World
public
duties,
events.
Yeah. yeah.
Then when his mum died, the Queen died, he was brought back in and no one really questioned it. Because they're like, oh, his mum's died. But it's an opportunistic thing to bring him back into the frame.
Yeah.
And
it's
now
politics.
he's there and he's the hand to the king. Is that correct? You're more up to date than I am.
No, I don't think so.
That's fascinating.
I thought he was.
As in, yeah, what you're describing there is royal privilege. The other thing to put in context is the amount of money that's generated by having a royal family in terms of tourism outweighs massively what we pay in tax.
Not true. It's been debunked.
It's been
That's
what?
It's been debunked.
What's the
really.
number?
So the amount that they actually generate in revenue for just tourism
Yeah.
isn't actually an accurate number for what people think it is.
Okay.
So you could actually theoretically make more if you opened up half of Buckingham Palace, for example.
No,
But
interesting.
they don't want to do that.
Well,
Mm.
let me ask you this: as British folks,
Yeah.
what is your, I guess generally, like, what is your take on the royal family and its importance? Like, how do people feel about it here? You said it's pretty split. Like, what's the reason for it still in today's society?
Order.
Interesting.
That's my kind of feeling.
Order.
Yeah.
Order for what?
I just, from my point of view, when I look at the royal family, I'm like, this is tradition, this is order, this is how we do things.
Okay.
That's how it sits to me.
But
It's like tradition.
Tradition. Yeah,
But
tradition.
purely
what are they
tradition.
bringing to England in terms of actual value for
Yeah.
the way we run things? It used to be everything is done in the king and queen's name,
Mm.
correct? So
Which-
the Royal
yeah.
Navy, the army, etc. Even colonialism done in the queen's name,
Yeah.
in the royal's name. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, there's no consequences for those actions. That's just been wiped clean, and everyone's like, oh, forget about it. It's not taught in curriculums. It's not taught in schools.
Mm.
No one knows about it
Mm.
until you go and look at it in
That's
your
wrong.
own way.
Really?
And that's where a lot of the hate's coming from now, is when people look back and think, well, these things weren't right, but we just don't talk about it. So why don't we talk about it? And then we watch films like Lagan, and you're like, this is wrong, man. This actually happened.
Right.
It took Lagan and Amir Khan to show that. So,
Yeah.
you know?
100%. That's
So
interesting.
up north, people hate the royals
Yeah.
big time.
Oh no.
So
kidding.
much so that when the Queen died at football grounds, they were forced to do a minute silence.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like cheering over the minute silence because they're like, we're not
Oh,
doing
wow.
this. Or they'd have vulgar chants like Lizzie's in a box,
Oh, that's.
and they were like chanting that throughout the whole game, stuff
Oh,
like
wow.
that. They boo the national anthem because now the hatred for it has grown so much more over the years because everyone's thinking it's so elitist.
Yeah.
And they also cleared more money for the royal family recently when there's people that are struggling to pay for bills over here in the
Exactly,
UK
yeah.
and like live. So like, why are they getting more money and we're getting nothing? They don't need it. They're very happy.
It's all a fair question.
And they've
man.
got enough money for what it is. So
Okay.
it's just things like that that are really leaving a bad taste in other people's mouths.
Yeah.
There was another image recently of the king and queen, the Camilla, his wife. I think she hugged a kid and she like wiped her hands or something afterwards.
Oh wow.
And it was a black kid.
Oh, shit.
And we're thinking, that's not looking good,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Like
terrible.
things like that leaves a bad taste in people's mouths because now it looks like you're still portraying old racist mentality
yeah.
that we know has been associated with it.
Color of the baby, Harry and Meghan.
Yeah,
Prince
it's
Philip was a known
terrible.
racist for the stuff that he used to say, but
I
no
believe
one
it.
spoke about it.
I
So
believe
it's
it.
just like there's so much privilege that goes on with them that really rubs people up the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of Asians idolize them. They're like, oh, but they're the royal family. I'm like, yeah, but they also fucked up all of India.
Yeah.
So
There's a reason
and
why
they pillaged the world.
Yeah.
So and none of that stuff's been given back. It's just sitting in museums.
Yeah.
So it's like, are
exactly.
we going to give any of that back? There's a lot of underlying problems that are just not being addressed.
Look, it's like our whole issue with Indians and Pakistanis and Bengalis is Bangladeshis is like
It's created from them, man.
stems from this. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So I'll tell you, like me and my wife had trouble getting married initially because I'm Pakistani
Okay.
and she's Indian.
Okay.
We're both Muslim, but two different countries now. Right?
Yeah.
That like aggression towards each other like ran through with our families, more so mine versus hers.
Right.
And it took us a long time to like get our parents on board. And to this
Right.
day, like my parents, we still have like a rocky relationship. But a lot of that stems from that issue, which
Yeah.
stems from like
Created by them.
created by them.
Yeah, we watched
Exactly.
that film, The Last Viceroy of India, and there's a scene in there where they actually show how they decided on the partition. Get the map out, random lines.
Crazy.
Bro, like, who
Absolutely
does that,
crazy.
man?
Yeah. And it's like, we have 1 billion people in India.
Yeah.
1 billion. You tell me we can't, like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, if we all just came together, man, we could run the entire world. Like if we all just like put
India's
aside
close to it
differences.
already in the background.
it's
But India's
insane.
turning into a very nationalist state now where
Yeah, it's sad.
it's very pro-Hindustan and then everyone else that's a minority is getting wiped away,
Yeah.
which is dangerous.
It's crazy.
The UK is struggling in terms of getting trade deals. And it's really ironic now that the UK needs India to help them sustain just the economy and to get more trade deals in and get more money in for like partnership and imports and exports.
Very interesting.
We need India now, which is ironic because years ago we went there, ruined India, left it in
Pillaged it.
tatters,
Dude.
and now the cows have come home to roost, or
Yeah.
chickens have come home to roost. I guess
Create all
it
this
is.
hatred, which doesn't exist.
Well,
It's
it's
like when I speak with Punjabi people, like a lot of our editors are Punjabi, or Pakistani Punjabi. But I said, bro, we have more in common with you guys
Yeah,
than we
Yeah.
have with the other peoples in India. Like
Yeah,
Punjabi
it's true.
people, like once you know the language and the culture, like it's actually very similar. So
Yeah,
why
it
the divide?
is.
Like we had an episode recently. He asked me about why do India and Pakistan hate each other in cricket. We're talking about cricket,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Where does that come from?" I looked at like when I was young, I'd watched India Pakistan game. I'm like, "Yeah, man, hate Pakistan." And then you get older, and you're like, "Bro, like
Like, why?
it's just a game, man. Just chill out, man." Like,
It's just ingrained from
what
us.
is hate?
at
Yeah, it's
such a young
ingrained.
age.
It's ingrained.
Yeah.
it's
So
pushed on
it's
you from
sad.
early. So it's it's a bit much. But
It
Probably a
is.
good point to segue though.
what is
Gode making the current problem that's happening
which one?
in Middle East.
Go on.
Yeah, I think we could go there.
Yeah, of course.
So we just said they made this problem in 1947 there. Also similar time
Yeah.
in obviously Israel and Palestine. We've seen obviously you've been posting stuff and creating awareness. Obviously you've got a platform. The first thing I'd actually ask is, do you feel you have a responsibility to use your platform to promote things like this in the world?
Yeah. Yes. Like
Yes.
unequivocally.
Unequivocally,
Everyone
right?
should. Yeah.
And with everything that's kind of unfolding, as we're seeing stuff day by day, and obviously we know everybody's got their own propaganda slant and their own agenda, as it were. What's your feeling on the situation?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a loaded question. I'll say this. So like since I started rapping at 18, I've always tried to like talk about politics where I can and my view on things. Whether it was like the Iraq-Afghanistan war that the US was doing back in the day, you know, leading up to like so many things like the Yemenis getting wiped out by Saudi, Rohingyans and the Uyghurs in China, and there's always like things to talk about. I may have not had like the biggest platform back in the day, but I'm always like, hey, if you have a platform, this is like a big argument, especially in American media. It's like people that come after the biggest celebrity is like, hey, DJ Khaled's a perfect example.
Okay.
Big DJ Khaled fan in general, music and stuff like that. DJ Khaled's Palestinian. His family's Palestinian.
Is he actually?
He doesn't talk about it. And like I read his book a long time ago, and he like mentioned like, you know, he's all about love and things like
Yo,
this.
I didn't
But like,
know that he was Palestinian.
but he
So you
won't-
said that now.
yeah, he won't talk about like this. He won't come out and say like, oh, like Palestine should be free, things like that. So it's like a lot of people question, where are the responsibilities of celebrities and people with following and influence? Where do they lie? To me, it's like you might have not asked for it, but this is what comes with the job. Even like my small platform of followers, like I have a responsibility to speak up and at least advocate for people, especially like these are Muslim people. These are just humans in general. Like if I see something that's not right, I want to speak out about it. And we've been rapping about Palestine since like I had a song with Slim Thug, was a big rapper in Houston.
I saw on your IG, yeah.
2017,
20 archives.
In the middle of the song, I'm like, fists up for Black Lives, I co-sign. I'm yelling free Palestine till my throat dries. Like on the biggest record I ever had with the celebrity, like I was like, I gotta mention like the stuff
Yeah.
aside from just rapping. So like I'm always a big advocate of like, you should speak up. I think Kalani in general, like if we're thinking about like American pop stars, Kalani is using her platform. It's like, I don't care what happens. I'm going to talk about Palestine and the injustices that are happening. And there's a lot of people that have started doing that. I never judge someone by, you know, what they post and stuff like that. But like, I don't like when people are like, I'm not
Where's your
educated
post?
enough for this, or like I don't want to talk about this.
Just sitting on the fence. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, there's so much resources out here. You can get educated. You're like choosing at this point not to get educated.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. So I don't want to get involved. I don't put the effort into.
Yeah, and I'm like, as a human being in this society, you should be involved. Look, in America, I can speak specifically. America is funding so much of Israel.
Yeah.
You have to have a stance on this because these are your fucking tax dollars
That's
that are funding this stuff. So how can you, as a taxpayer, not have an opinion on where the money is going and what the money is being used for?
How I feel about the royal family. Exactly.
And
the
it's a
same,
great
right?
point. It's a great point. So I try to educate my friends where I can, and we can have differing views. Sure. I hate when people try to block out differing views. Like, I get it makes you angry, but we start blocking out different views. We're just gonna be in this like echo
polarized.
chamber.
Yeah, this is right. This is wrong. No,
Yeah.
it's a very nuanced conversation.
There's nuances. Yeah.
As let's say as British people, let's say we're kind of more. Actually, I was gonna say we're neutral, but actually it looks like we've caused the whole thing a long time ago. But from people who are watching now who may not understand the context of this, historically, what has been the plight of the Palestinian people? What is this really about? At the crux of it, if you're a Palestinian person, what is it you want, and why have you not been able to achieve that thus far?
Yeah. So it's a big question, and I'm gonna put it in the shortest summary possible because this is a very nuanced topic. But essentially, Palestinian people had their land. Somewhere post World War II, the winners of the war decided, hey, Jewish people need a place to go. We're going to give them Palestine. We're going to call it Israel. We're going to give them this land. They're going to get this part of the state. Palestinians are going to get this part of the state. In the midst of all that, over the next few decades, there were some battles, strife, wars. Israel, with the backing of a lot of the Western powers, was able to, fight off the wars, fight off the contingency. And they're like, okay, no, we're in charge. We're going to do what we need to do. Palestinian people are going to get like this much land, and we're going to get this much. Then over time, people have started settling more and more into Palestinian lands. So Israel started spreading their populace into Palestinian homes. We have friends back home in Texas that are Palestinian whose grandparents were literally kicked out of their home and sent to refugee camps, or they had to escape forcefully. Still have the deeds to their house, but they were forced to leave just because the Western powers said, hey, this is Israel now, and you guys got to go. You got to go to this refugee camp.
Similar to the kind of partition stuff that happened, where it's like
Somewhat
the lines
similar,
are
yeah.
drawn, off you go.
Yeah.
There's no choice. And then people are like, oh, well, like, hey, these people need a place to go to. Yeah, I agree. There should probably be a two-state solution to this, right? At this point, it's so hard. Like, things have gotten so much back and forth. There's been so much bloodshed. It's like, at some point, we just need to split it. The thing is, Israel has the backing of the major countries around the world.
It's always going to win.
Yeah, the Palestinians have barely any backing, yet they're made out to be like the terrorizers in this situation. Well, it's like, hey, for 75 years, you guys have been taking over our land. You guys have been oppressing us. You guys have been doing injustice. It's going to blow up at some point. Like, you get tired of being
I think this
crucified.
is the point. This point you've made is what a lot of people are kind of, I think, conveniently forget. So a lot of, Piers Morgan's example, a lot of news anchors who are talking about this story, they are assuming that 7th of October, when that attack happened, is the start of this.
Right.
Whereas actually people are educated who are talking about it. No, in the context of actually 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chap called Mohammed Hijab. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah.
So he had that, and he basically said, look, if you're being oppressed and then you fight back, how can you ever then be labeled as the terrorist?
Exactly.
You're being oppressed.
Exactly.
But it's become so normal that people have just forgotten and it's just normalized that this is an oppression. But it's such long oppression.
It's been such a long time, dude. I mean, even in high school, we were chanting "Free Palestine," like going on marches, things like that. It's like this stuff has been going on for a long time. The sad thing is, like, it'll happen. These wars will happen, battles will happen, and then it's like forgotten for a few years, and then it rises up again and it's forgotten for a few years. And that happens with a lot of
Happens everywhere.
stuff. Yeah, across the world.
War in
Right?
Ukraine's a prime example.
Ukraine's another
he said
example.
this year ago, more than a year now.
I said this to you on the podcast because I know how content and news cycles
The
work.
day the war was declared,
Yeah.
he said,
I said, give it a couple of months, no one's going to give a fuck.
you said 2 weeks. You said
Yeah.
2 weeks, and we won't be talking about this as much. And it's right.
It's
Happens.
sad, but it's true.
And it's
man.
true because
Normalize. Yeah.
I just know how this goes. I've seen it play out numerous times,
Yeah, man.
right? How do you kill a big story with a bigger story? That's literally
Exactly.
it. That is news in a nutshell. If something scandalous happens about someone, they try and pull up another one and they'll be like, bam, done. What's wrong?
No.
No, it's fine.
Exactly.
Keep it. Yeah.
Don't worry, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, so it's like, okay, damn. That's a lot.
What's sad now is like we used to be able to trust, like somewhat trust, like the media as the primary source and like a true source. Now you just don't know what's wrong or what's real and what's not real. Like so many social media accounts, it's like, and both sides, in fairness, are probably putting out like over exaggerated things about each other and things like that. Like we've gotten to a point where it's like hard to tell the truth.
The truth is very blurry unless you're getting kind of like, you know, from the ground.
From the ground,
You're not going to get now.
Generated content.
Electricity's been cut.
And now they cut out electricity, and like you ask yourself, why would they do that? Like obviously to hide the truth. I mean,
man. Like,
people were
To
seeing
me,
the craziness.
It makes me think
Media
back
blackout.
to the stuff that happened in '84 in India,
exactly.
where they had blackouts and they were just doing absolute madness.
Sikh genocide.
Yeah.
Attack on
So
Nandos.
to me, I'm
Absolutely.
thinking all of this rings very similar to like oppression, genocide, and I'm like, doesn't sit right with me. Regardless of the
always
stuff I
repeats
read
itself.
online, I just sit and think, I've heard recently inaccuracies from both sides, and it's like you have to draw your own understanding now, which
You
is
do, you have to
really
educate
hard
yourself.
to do because
Yeah.
you're then questioning all your news sources of where you're getting things from. So now you
Yeah.
have to listen to political journalists that are reputable and that don't have a bias
With
to
an
give
agenda.
you the breakdown.
Yeah.
And a lot of it isn't packaged in the most digestible format.
Sure.
There's so much depth to it where you're like, what? Wait, you told me about one bit. Tell me about that bit. Then you get pulled into a different direction, a different
Yeah.
direction.
Rabbit holes.
Well,
It's
it's
so
like-
hard to wrap your head around it all.
It should be everyone should have a responsibility
Yeah.
to learn what's going on. In my
I see that.
opinion,
Personal
people can
responsibility.
disagree.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, everyone should have
We
a
were
personal
just debating a point
responsibility.
the other day about Hamas. So specifically about Hamas, and we'd read their what do they call it? They put out this basic documentation that this is what we believe and this is what
That's
we
their
wanna do.
purpose. Yeah, their MO
Right,
and
which is
stuff.
the annihilation of Israel, right? But then what we said is, okay, fine. If we say that 7th of October, okay, this is a terrorist attack. Let's assume that standpoint is fine from Hamas. What are the motivations that led to the need for Hamas to exist? And then we just looked at that point. You know, we went really upstream and said, okay,
Sure.
and this is basically what you're saying. If there was no oppression, then there's no need for this to exist.
Sure.
So we're not justifying what they've done, but actually
course.
you can understand where it's come from because it's a nuanced conversation. It's not this is right, this is wrong, this has come from here.
Yeah.
And in your mind, then, so when you think about solution or obviously ceasefire, but
Yeah.
you think the two-state solution works?
Dude, this is like the debatable question of
It's
the
tough.
century. Like,
It's
what
tough
is
to
the
figure out.
solution? I don't think I'm smart enough to come up with the right solution. I think at some point, if we like, how do you come back from this? If the Palestinian and Hamas stops, is Israel going to rebuild Gaza? No, hell no. You know, like, are they going to give Palestinians more land? No. If Palestinians win, like, what's going to happen with Israel and all the people? Because look, I'm sure there's great people in Israel too. Like, I'm not saying all Israelis are
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
I'm saying there's extremism on both sides that's causing a lot of rift. So it's like, where do you go from there? I think like generally it's just like two sides have to come to an understanding of like, hey, like we got to split this land in a certain way, and this is the two-state solution, and maybe we need like a third-party mediator. That never works. Historically, that has never worked.
Okay,
I don't know what the right
We were there
solution
for
is.
20 years, man. We left and then
Yeah. So, but like, you know, you talk about Hamas, like Israel funded Hamas, like they were the founders of Hamas. And you think
because
about
at
like,
the need of the time, like American funding Russia in Afghanistan, it's what serves at the time. When it's not useful anymore, you're a terrorist.
it's what serves at the time. And that's why the U.S. backing Israel, they need influence in the Middle East.
Yep.
Israel is the influence. Like, it's so nuanced. It's the same thing. Like, so they say like back in the day, like in India proper, right? Like people used to get along until like colonialism and things like that, like was rooted in there
Divide and
to
conquer.
divide us.
That's what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
That's it, man.
It happens in
No
society
problems,
all
man.
the time. Yeah,
You want to pray the way you pray, I pray the way I pray, he prays the way, but we're all fine, man. We eat
exactly.
the same food at the same table, there was no issue.
And you can apply that at a religion level at like casteism. So
Yeah.
during the war of what was happening in World War One or two, I can't remember. We had an author on. He's my fufur. He came on and he wrote a book about this. And he was saying in the book, he has all these diaries of Sikhs that were sent to war from India.
Oh wow.
And some of them were saying there is clear evidence that they would get generals come to their village saying, you're of this caste. We've got people of different castes that are more willing to go to battle than you. So now you're tapping into people's pride to want to represent the nation
Yeah.
for the wrong purpose. But you're dividing people on a caste level, on a religion level. Anything like
That's
this can be
crazy.
done no matter what. It just depends on how
Psychology, man.
manipulative you can be
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
words and your actions. And when you see that, you're thinking, this is dangerous stuff.
Dark,
and
That's
it's
man.
dark.
crazy.
Very dark.
I think generally human beings, I think generally we all have a goodness about us. If you think about like the three big religions, like Abrahamic religions between Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, it is so similar. Like 90% of it's so similar. You wonder how the hell are we like fighting each other?
The Holy Land. And this
but it's like there's leaders in the world that find a way to divide the people because that's how you rule the people. It's like division. It's crazy, but it's sad. I genuinely think like we are a good populace and we need to figure out the right solution. We just need the right voices to be heard. So I do hope, man, like I pray for Palestine every day. Like I hope all this stops. There's a ceasefire. Like what's happening in Palestine is unacceptable, man. It's a genocide.
And then things calm a little bit.
Yeah, and there needs to be a solution to this.
Who knows, man? Who knows? For the powers that be above us. I've got one last question for you on a personal level.
100%.
How have you've gone through like a journey of living places. So you were living in Saudi for the first 9 years. Then you moved to the States.
Yeah.
Then you moved around the States. Now you're back in New York. How was keeping your community and people together around you to sort of still be like a brown kid and still have like those experiences growing up?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think most of my life was in Houston, Texas, which I rep all the time. I love Houston to death. I can't wait to go back one day.
nice.
In Houston, we had a big like brown population as well. So I think like because of that and having that foundation there, like I don't think like the brownness or anything will ever leave, right?
Good.
Like I love it.
Good.
Yeah, good, man. No, it's essential. It's
Well, I said we lived in Miami for 3 years. I loved Miami. People there were a little interesting, but like the weather was great.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Say that again.
But like it was hard to find. It was very rare to see brown people in like downtown Miami where I lived. Anytime you would, like, you make eye contact and be like, you live here? You visiting? Like, you actually have a conversation.
You on holiday?
Yeah, it was great. So now that I'm in New York, I'm like, oh, I love like being back. I love being amongst like our people. You just feel comfortable. It's home, right? So I think I always try to make sure like I'm rooted in that. I never try to get big headed about anything. Like all of this stuff, material stuff can go away tomorrow, right? So it's like as long as you have like your foundation, your family, your culture, like to me, that's important stuff.
How's that been with you being able to keep your language, like your native language, because you speak Punjabi Urdu? How's that been with developing that over the years? And like, I'm assuming it's probably like waned a little bit because that's what happens.
Yeah, man, my Urdu Punjabi is like terrible now. I will say now that I'm DJing like more and more like Desi music, it's like coming back in spreads. So like I try to speak when I can. It just sounds so terrible when I try. But yeah, it's all practice, right? So like surround yourself with it, listen to it.
Of course.
Practice it, Indian practicing. Look at your Punjabi.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I've like from like the first reel to like the latest reel I've seen you've definitely like improved,
man.
A little
bit. Yeah, it's getting there slowly. I just need to keep on practicing it. I try and call my dad and talk to him in Punjabi, but it's difficult.
What's the time? Punjabi?
Oh, we're not doing this, man. Don't put me on the spot.
That's actually a hard one as well.
No,
yeah, it's like 3 minutes to 2:30.
2 baj ke?
2 baj ke. How many meant? What was 28 meant?
It's the perfect time.
No, it's not that. Oh yeah, no, in 2 minutes will be the perfect time that you want to say.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
What's the perfect time in 2 minutes? It's not.
2 baje. There you go.
2 baj ke 28 minute.
There you go. 2 baj ke 28 minute.
28 minute.
Do you speak Punjabi all the time, like at home, or?
No.
Don't play it down.
I thought you never lost it.
No, his question was, do you speak it all the time at home? The answer to that is no, but I'm good.
Yeah.
Mom will actively tell us. She's like, Mom has this thing. She always says to us, and it's always dramatic when she says, she's like, listen, when we go to the airport, I was like, yeah, Mom. I was like, yeah, Mom. Always speaking their language. Why are we ashamed of our language?
That's got a point, man.
I agree.
It's right. It's so dramatic when Mom says that. But as I get older, I appreciate what she's saying. She's like, don't lose your Zaban, right? And look, friends at my level, a lot of them can understand it, listen to music, but they can't speak it. And then I think about their kids. I was like, that's it. One generation, you're gone, man. Okay, you might send a Punjabi school, Punjabi class, but there's no interest. There's no need to speak it.
Sure.
So we need to love the language, adopt the language, learn about Bada Pashab, and it's all good, man. And even with him, man, like he'll ask me stuff, and I might not necessarily know it, but then I have to learn it to teach him.
Yeah.
But then that's making my Punjabi better. And now I'm at the point where actually, okay, my Punjabi is good, but I want to get it even better now. So I'm like, I want to hire a person to teach me actual Punjabi.
That's amazing.
Rather than like slang Punjabi.
Yeah. I need to call you once a week and just have a Punjabi class on 30 minutes.
Even if you have questions, message us and he'll give you a voice note back. I promise he will.
I love
what
that.
he will say often is, I want to say this, how do I say it?
Yeah.
Right. And then he's got the the bits,
Syntax.
and then he can just create sentences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where it becomes easier. But he has a
That's
big problem
amazing.
with male female. That's where he gets.
Oh yeah, no,
confused.
I feel that.
It's not my jam. I don't see gender.
Everything's unisex. Yeah, I got you. Well,
Neutral.
you know what's crazy is we used to think like this person's a fob or this person only speaks Urdu.
See that term?
No, it's true. Fob told you.
But you know what's crazy is like these people can speak like Urdu, Hindi, Punjabi, and they speak English and sometimes a third language, and I'm barely struggling like with a second language. Like
Their
these people
level
are
of English
incredible.
compared to our level of Punjabi is better.
Exactly.
Much better. So we've got to give them props.
Exactly. And I
But we
think
never used to,
No.
right? Because
We never used to.
you speak English with the accent, or you speak like this, and
Exactly.
it's like, yo, they're speaking English though.
English is a very hard language to learn, man.
It doesn't
So,
make
like,
sense.
respect.
English doesn't make sense.
As a language, if
As
you look
a-
at every other
compared to
language,
other
you're learning a
languages.
second language. English
Where
is
the
the most
verb goes.
backwards.
I figured that out.
Meltegasi.
Yeah.
Right? You never say that in English. I went there, but in every other language, the verb, the doing, goes to the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
Every
That's
other
crazy.
language makes sense. It's just
Only English is
doesn't make
the
sense.
one that's
I wonder
difficult.
why.
Yeah, it's just.
I blame the king and queen.
You blame me, the king of
The
yes,
king,
yes,
I'm
good
just
boy, good boy, good boy.
Shut up your mouth, please.
All right, we got some trivia questions to round out this podcast.
Oh
Okay?
man.
These are Texas trivia questions.
Oh shoot.
Umar. So here we go.
Number one.
Number one. Which fizzy drink was invented in Texas?
Fizzy drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me if you want a clue. I'll give you a clue.
Give me a clue.
Clue. Part of it is sitting in this room.
Something to do with him.
Fizzy drink.
Something to do with him.
This isn't helping. What is it?
Okay, his name is
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Pip?
It's the worst that can happen. You know, they actually drink it in America. That's the only thing we have.
They must do,
They must
surely.
What is it? I'm curious.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
Man. I hate Dr. Pepper, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I do not endorse this on my platform.
That's why you said that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Dr. Pepper. Is that a Coca-Cola brand? We endorse all products.
Equally and fairly.
I was thinking of Mr. Pibb. I said Dr. Pibb. Mr. Pibb. Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
I haven't heard anyone ask for a Dr. Pepper in years.
So he's
It's true, actually. No
Zero
one
for
really
one.
drinks it.
Genuine.
0 for 1. Go on.
Oh for what? No, I got this. Go ahead.
Which famous actor said, all right, all right, all right?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
There we go.
baby.
I got
There
you,
we go.
baby.
You got one. You got
I got
one.
that one, man.
What's the 2-letter state code for Texas?
TX.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
come on, man.
What's the Texas state nickname?
Ooh.
Lone Star State?
Yeah,
Yeah?
baby.
I was gonna say everything's bigger in Texas.
All
Just
right,
a
all
slogan, but yeah.
What is a Frito pie?
Oh, you know, keema or
Yeah.
meat and Fritos,
Yeah.
and then just like sometimes chili on top.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
got it.
It's got to be one of the best.
We're
Like,
gonna have
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
Hearty
Chips and
snacks
chili
of
in
all
a chip
time.
bag. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got it. He's got it.
Which famous brown comedian is from Texas?
Ooh.
famous brown comedian from Texas. There's a
He's
lot.
blowing up right now.
Mo Amer, or
No, it's not. It's not Mo.
interesting.
No. He might be from there, but it's not the answer I got.
No, yeah.
Maybe give him a clue. He's also on a podcast.
He's on a big podcast recently with Andrew Schultz.
Oh, big brown comedian from Texas.
Podcast called Flagrant 2.
I don't know who is it.
Akash Singh.
Oh, of course.
There you
Akash
go,
Singh, man.
there
Shout out
you go.
Akash Singh, man. He's good. He's really good. Oh man,
He is.
I feel
He's good
embarrassed. He's good.
Where was JFK assassinated?
Dallas, Texas.
And
Man.
who was the killer? Alleged killer.
Alleged killer.
Uh,
Bonus question.
Who was the killer? I should know this. I lived in Dallas for a number of years.
Well, clearly.
I forgot the name.
Seriously, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey.
Yeah, from the
Oswald.
second story.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Apparently.
There's a like if you go to Dallas,
You can
it's
see it
a
on the floor.
museum.
Yeah,
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 you can go to the second floor and
It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
It's a
I
big
don't know why
tourist
they would
spot.
publicize that and make that into a thing.
It's crazy. American
It's
history is
very,
crazy.
very dark.
Yeah, there's like an outline of where JFK's car
On
was.
the road,
attempted. It's
yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
The grassy knoll theory.
Which film has the phrase "Houston, we have a problem"?
Oh my God, film. Like where it originated? I don't know, man.
Just the
Houston,
film.
we have a
The film
problem.
name.
Houston, we have a problem.
Clue is it's to do with rockets going to somewhere.
Yeah, I figured that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an easy clue.
That doesn't help me at all.
I knew that one, man. It's got to be one of
Yeah,
the
all
older
right.
space movies.
Rocky's most famous adversary. His name is.
You watch
Apollo.
Rocky films? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
What
so
number?
Apollo 4. How many Apollo?
I don't think we have Apollo 4 took off, man.
I don't
I don't think you got to 4.
know. 1, 2, what is
30.
13.
Apollo
13.
13.
Oh man, I gotta take this off the podcast.
I'm not watching this
Which
shit.
famous wrestler is from Texas?
Oh,
The goat. Come on, the
the
goat
goat
wrestler.
wrestler
The goat.
from Texas. Oh,
The
man.
Texas rattlesnake.
People are gonna roast. Oh, Stone Cold Steve
There
Austin.
you go.
Stone Cold,
Man,
baby.
of
Thank
course.
God, man.
The goat. I was like, come
You
on,
can't go
man.
back to Texas if you got that.
Yeah, I
The
know.
goat.
I'm already gonna get flamed.
What is
man.
the official sports state of Texas?
sports?
Sport. What's the
Oh, the
official
official sport?
sports state of Texas?
It's gotta be football.
No.
Really?
Apparently it's not.
No.
There's something you guys do, man. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Oh, like a sport that we only do in Texas. Is it gun ranges? Because that's another one.
Close.
Just
no,
killing
no,
everybody.
no, it's not that.
It's not football.
Oh, it's
Something
like an
only we
animal.
do. Oh, like a lasso, like
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, yeah.
rodeo. maybe?
Rodeo,
Yeah, yeah,
rodeo.
yeah,
There you
that's
go.
it.
There you go.
I like rodeo in other states, man.
Nah, it's the official sports.
We've
Texas
seen that bit
brand.
in
I know
Borat,
the
man, when he
official-
goes there. He goes to Texas.
That's
This is not from GPT. This is done by Gordon, Shindy, and my lovely wife Sanj.
No, right
There you
on.
go.
Yeah.
There's some other
They put this together.
things we found, but it's very hard asking questions. For example, Texas has 75% population of Canada. Do you know that?
Of what?
Canada. The whole of Canada.
Oh, interesting.
75%.
Oh yeah, because
man. No, I was like, I looked at the map and I was like, yo, Canada.
they're like
Not that
in,
big,
in
man.
a
They're
few
just
cities.
spread everywhere.
Yeah, Kansas,
Texas is big, man.
The Texas is
Oh,
big,
very
man.
big, man.
It's very spread out. You could drive 7 hours and still be in Texas, man. It's crazy.
Yes.
You know, I looked at the distance between Kentucky and Texas yesterday.
He
But
thought Kentucky Fried Chicken was from
I
Texas.
got really confused.
I'm like, the name's in the fucking.
do you know what it was?
The state's in the
saw
name,
southern,
bro.
Southern, and I was like,
It's in-
southern, southern.
And it's
Texas,
like, yeah, I'm close. Put it into maps. Like
No,
16-hour
man.
The
drive.
map, the line, the worm was like this big. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it said 16 hours. I was like,
Yeah,
this country's so
it's
big.
it takes forever to get
Right
out
here,
of
man.
Texas, man. Well, KFC. I don't understand why KFC is so big everywhere. Like I see it
We
anytime I
love it here.
travel.
We
Really?
fucking love
I
it.
hate. Oh, do you guys have Popeyes here?
No.
Okay. Popeyes here in England is horribly bad.
No kidding.
It's
Oh,
not
that's the
good.
spot,
I
man.
went to Popeyes in LA,
Yeah.
but I've had it for the first time on a really sad day. I had
Must
it
have
on the day that Kobe died
Oh.
because I was there in LA when his helicopter crashed and I was
Oh, wow.
heartbroken.
He's a big Kobe fan.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
Yeah.
I went to Popeyes to cheer myself up.
Aw.
So
Did it
I
help?
was like really happy I was eating the food, but I was like, I'm so sad right now, but this is making me feel a little bit happy.
Yeah.
Comfort
Yeah.
food.
And then I
that day
came
was
to
great.
England and had it. Not the same. And it's just getting worse and worse.
Well, you have Nandos here, so you don't need.
We do have
Popeyes.
Nando's here,
Yeah.
but
Good too.
I
Good
come to the
Nando's.
States for the Five Guys is better.
Five Guys.
Five
solid.
Guys is much better there compared to here. And the Popeyes is better as well.
Popeyes
The
is good.
McDonald's over here is better than the States
Oh, 100%.
because it's got much less
100%.
shit in it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an appeal to you if you want to try it out.
I think food in general here is probably a lot healthier than anything in the United
Yeah,
States, man.
yeah, it
It's
is.
crazy. We just put so much
Rates of
stuff
obesity,
in our
man,
shit.
and the size. I've got to say, man, like the size, like your small is our large, man. We
I
shared
didn't-
one, you know what studios, we shared one slice
and you
of
actually
pizza.
have more sugar to your beverages than we do.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Dangerous,
I
man.
believe
Diabetes,
it.
obesity, big problem.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't realize that until I got older. I was like, oh, we probably shouldn't be eating this much or drinking this much like cola
Sugar.
and all this stuff. It's
Yeah. But
crazy.
it's not normalized. It's just like, this is what you do, this is what you do.
It's so
Like, no, this
normalized.
is not what you do.
No, that's fair. Everything in England's a lot smaller.
It
For-
is.
Probably for good reason.
Even the country. Yeah.
7 hours is the full, man. From
Yeah.
one side to the
That's
other.
Yeah,
crazy.
from top to bottom is 7 hours.
That's
Oh,
crazy,
there you
man. Yeah. It's
Can I
like
ask
it's
one
fun.
more question?
Go on, of course.
Who's the GOAT DJ, man? Come on.
Oh my gosh, man. That's tough.
Or who do you look up to? Who's like, yeah, okay.
It depends. Like it depends on genre.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say
Punjabi
like
music
for Punjabi music.
or brown or Asian music.
There's so many good ones, man. Like I'm not afraid to be a fan of DJs and other musicians. Like I think like if you think about the brown community and you look at all the mashups like on YouTube and things like that, like NYK is great, one of my favorite DJs. Nick Dillon's another great one. Even like people like my age, like Umsel's great. AJ Wavy, they're big on TikTok and Instagram. Those are like people I've kind of like watched and kind of like mapped my sound after. I'm like, okay, cool. These guys are doing something similar. Like, let me try to create my own lane within what they're doing too. We think about like mainstream music. Like I've always been a big DJ Snake fan because Snake,
DJ Snake, I'm a big fan of him
he
too.
makes EDM music, but he's also like, he's a great DJ in general. Him, James Hype is amazing. The stuff that he does live. Fred again, there's a bunch, but I'm not afraid to be a fan, man. I'm a big fan of a lot of people. And if I ever see people in person, I like to show love as much as I can too.
That's important. Man.
One last question, actually. I keep saying this, man. We're longing this out. I'm so sorry.
No,
But
please.
One last question is, what's the dark side of DJing that no one sees?
Ooh, I think this could go in with a lot of things: rapping, DJing, podcasting. There's a lot of nights and weekends alone, and people don't realize that. Like, there's a lot of times, there was like a good year. I first quit a corporate job in 2019 to pursue rapping full time. And I did it for like 8-9 months. And during that time, we got a lot of opportunity. But during those 8-9 months, like on the weekends when everyone was partying and on the evenings when people were going out, like I was in my room by myself learning how to use like Ableton, learning how to produce, watching YouTube videos. Like people don't talk about that enough.
Yeah.
That you need to put in a lot of work to get those like 4 hours DJing and, you know, the highlight reel videos. But there's so much loneliness that goes into going into that. So that's why like I always tell people like you have to like really love this process. And a lot of the process is being alone. You got to be like literally addicted to the process. And it's like a slogan that I live by. I think that's like the dark side that a lot of people get into it, get super lonely, and they're like, oh, like I don't think I can handle this. And then they'll quit.
It's good to have a supportive spouse that helps with that.
It's very lucky to have a support spouse, man. 100%, 100%. So she's always
there.
down.
Man, that would be, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Partying on your own is a very tough ball game. Like people like Chris Williamson, Rogan, those guys that do it, they have a team behind them that help them do things. So you're not as lonely. But yeah, doing it on your own is like, it's hard.
It's like really it's those first 10,000 steps are very hard. After that, like it's still hard, but you have teams around you now. You're like another level of like you can build off of. But getting there is so tough, man. It's so tough. So like I props to anyone that's like pursuing anything. You guys pursuing this, like there's a lot of gritty work that goes into it that people don't realize, and you got to push mentally. It's like you got to push through all that. So
tell people where they can find you.
Hey, all right. So on this podcast, of course, DJ Ofresh on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, youtube.com/Ofresh, SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/DJ Ofresh, and then our Spotify page, Ofresh, for all the original rap songs that we've ever had. We have a ton of stuff coming next year, more mashups. We're going on a world tour next year. I'm so excited to announce it as we get closer. And at the end of the day, please keep Palestine in your prayers and your thoughts. We need to stop the genocide. And I appreciate you guys giving me the platform, man. It's an honor to be here. I'm excited to come back.
And that t-shirt, where can people get it from?
DJOfresh.com.
There we go. Bunch of merch on there as well. Just check it out.
All profits from the merch are going to Palestinian relief. So please buy a shirt, support the cause, and look fly, man. It's a good shirt.
All right, people. Catch you next week. Please like the video, check him out, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Cheers.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out the rest of our episodes here, and don't forget to subscribe here. We'll see you guys on the next one.